A night in with MauLer and the drinker, getting trashed with the web screen dictors. A cheap night cause I'm feeling kinda thrifty, got a 10-pack of beers and a bottle of whiskey. Hop off the cork, have a glass of wine, touch the old say, I'll be fine. Trouble walking in a straight line, but pour me a Pinot Noir. It's open bar with our hosts, MauLer and the critical drinker.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to Open Bar. It's me and it's MauLer.
We're here. God, can you believe it? Already, it's been a week.
We're here. We're getting ready to spread democracy all over the galaxy. What can I say? You know, it's
drink is officially converted. Not that it took long. I like that. I'm one of these people, but there's loads of them left. Of the ones of like, should I get into Helldivers though? It sounds like something that's going to be gone next week, and it's like, well, it's still here.
Oh yeah. It seems to be going strong, and rightly so. It's got that kind of feel of Destiny. I don't know if you ever played that back in the day.
Yeah,
but
I'm familiar with Destiny, but
yeah,
I feel like Helldivers has got a way better aesthetic that's binding it to people. Like the memes are really helping it out, you know.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's way more fun. The missions are much more interesting, and yeah, man, everyone just like wants to be in Starship Troopers, like, you know, killing bugs.
Yeah,
and yeah, spreading the good word. So no, I enjoyed it. I did my first like stream of it with Az last night actually, and we had a great old time. So yeah, looking forward to many more. But anyway, enough about Helldivers for now. We've got other things hellish to talk about tonight, and that's in the world of Star Wars. But yeah, first we ought to, it's been a while. We should bring in our panel, our handpicked team of gentlemen. What do you think? We start bringing them in?
Yeah, I think it's about time. Yeah. All right, all right. Open the doors.
Coming in from the United States, he's just about sobered up from that night out in Orlando at MegaCon. It is Ryan Kinel. Welcome back, man.
What's up? Thanks for having me. And you know, the first thing you have to do when you feel yourself start to sober up is have another drink. So that's exactly what I'm doing now. Pleasure to be with you, boys. You said you needed more white male representation to counteract the Acolyte trailer, and I'm here to help.
I absolutely agree. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it, but Echo Chamberlain put out a tweet about this. He's like, we're trying to find the white guy.
Where we're on the search for a white male. Yeah, that's pretty good. You have to really stop. You have to pause for one moment, and you can find a white male in that one.
Yeah. It's easier to find a white whale than a white male in this one. But yeah, man, we'll talk about that shortly. Oh, yeah. But yeah, welcome back, man. It's good to have you back.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. It's and we actually met each other in person for the first time a couple of weeks ago at Orlando MegaCon. So that was we both were pretty fucked up that night at the meetup. But we both made it there early to MegaCon the next day, and that's really all that matters.
I think so, yeah. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, I showed up like maybe 30, 40 minutes late to start that night out, and you were like, hey, man, I'm already 6 drinks in.
Yeah, it was, listen, a lot of free drinks. What are you going to do, turn them down? That's not my style. So
Yeah. No, I kept saying yes.
And hey, had another great thing is that we're doing a Stargrift reunion. It's been so long.
That's true. I hadn't talked to MauLer in so long since our second to last Stargrift last Monday. So now I get my weekly dose of MauLer, double time. I like it.
Are you?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. How you coping with Stargrift ending? Is it okay?
We got one more episode. It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, we got one more episode. We're going over prequels and stuff like that. Just kind of like our overall feelings on it. So that'll be fun. But it's not going to be the end. We're going to come on there for other stuff. It's just the week-to-week stuff. Obviously, MauLer's got a lot of streams to do. I got a lot of shit on top of all the stuff Jeremy piles onto me for Geeks and Gamers. So it was just getting to be a little too much to handle. But it was good while it lasted, though. And we'll have some reunions.
If nothing else, it's good to see like two sides coming together. You know, theories, you know, not often like had a chance to interact with people on our side of the fence, and like it's really good that he's done that. He put himself out there and built a few bridges. So I think that's pretty admirable.
Yeah, 100%.
We got the Go ahead, I think I'm fucking delayed, by the way.
I think you are as well.
You are, yeah. You keep talking over us.
I'm usually much better socially with timing, but I think I'm gonna look like a retard tonight. So what I was trying to say was people in chat being like, "Yeah, it's time for it to end," then someone else being like, "Don't end it." It's like we got that wonderful bit of conflict going. All right, that's what Stargrift was all about.
Oh yeah. Well, like Ryan was saying, it's maybe not the end. You guys can still do it from time to time, so that's good.
Sometimes it's time for Breaking Bad to end, right? Even when people still want more. You don't want to go 10 seasons and have people like, "Oh, this really should end a couple years ago." Going out on a high note.
You know what Better Call Saul was?
Well, I mean, what if that had gone 10 seasons though?
What, 6? Not bad yet. More than Breaking Bad somehow.
Yeah. Anyway, we should probably bring in the rest of our guests. We could just sit and banter all night, but they're probably waiting to get in. So, anyway, joining us all the way from Australia, it is the man with the robot for a head. It is Robot Head. Welcome back to the Open Bar. It's been a good few months since we've had you on, man.
No, thank you. It has been a while. I'm a bit annoyed that you're rubbing in my face all the drinking going on, and it's 8 a.m. here, but I'll try and join in as best I can. Plus, I don't get to meet anyone at meetups because we're just too far away. So I just stay in my hole on the other side of the world and hear about all these fun meetups of you guys getting drunk together.
I know. Look, to be fair, Shad came all the way over to the UK to do stuff.
Yeah, but he's nuts.
He did. We should have got a 2-for-1 deal. I should have come with him.
Yeah, I mean, he was mostly here for the castles, really. He wasn't really interested in talking to us. But, yeah.
Back to his spirit homeland where he can dress like that every day.
Yeah. I respected him. Like when we did that meetup in London, it was a boiling hot day in like August, and he just swaggers in there in full armor, carrying a sword. Like, okay.
Well, he is Australian, and we're not known for our intelligence, so I like his style.
You guys are adapted to the heat as well, so
yeah, it's probably a cool day for him.
Yeah, probably. But yes, well, we bring in the last member of our group here this evening. This man was recommended to me actually by a few people, both through Super Chats and through Patreon. And I thought, wow, why not bring him in? It is the Angry Badger. Welcome to Open Bar for the first time, sir. Good to have you here.
Thank you. Full disclosure, I am an actual Angry Badger. This is just a life model decoy for people purposes. No, it's first time, but as I told you guys backstage, I've been watching all of you for years, and I blame all of you. This is what happens when you tell people that if you care about something to make your own channels, and I blame Nerdrotic and Nerd Wars for radicalizing me, and somehow it's led to me literally streaming with my heroes. And
life takes you on a funny path sometimes, man, but I'm glad it's worked out.
Yeah,
nice to meet you, man.
Thank you.
You know what they say, never meet your heroes.
Yeah, but you're exactly what I was expecting. Thankfully, I've seen them. Oddly enough, you read the super chats over once. It's like, I think he knows who I am. And the 199, the Fellowship. You guys were on Piers Morgan. So like, it just goes to show, oh, no. We're making a difference. There's something to all this. So it's all great.
Yeah. He let us speak like maybe once every 5 minutes or so. So that was nice.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Yeah.
But no, we've got our bar assembled, so everyone welcome. And I guess the most obvious thing to talk about a little bit is the Acolyte. The first trailer for it has finally dropped. This is a show that was first announced back in 2020, so 4 years ago.
I can't wait.
And it's going to be releasing in June, the start of June. So it's barely 2 months from now, and they've just finally put out the first trailer for it. I'm getting real, like, the Marvels vibes from this. Like, they know what this show is, and they've been holding back as long as possible. But I guess I'd be interested to know what you guys' thoughts are on the trailer. What did you think of this? What does it tell you about this show? And are you excited to see the inside of the mind of Harvey Weinstein's former assistant?
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk for everyone, but I thought, like, didn't everyone else feel like it was Frozen made by Tarantino?
Yeah, it felt like Frozen.
That was a bizarre description.
Yeah.
Oh, but
I should
know
say
what
Leslie
meant,
Headland. That's how she described her own show, didn't she? It was Kill Bill meets Frozen, which I think you said, Drinker, on Twitter that, X. Sorry, I can't get used to saying X. That it doesn't even make sense, that description.
No.
No,
she described it that way because in Frozen, the true love was between two sisters, and the main protagonist, played by Amandla, however you say her name, Stenberg, she's playing twins, one raised by the Jedi, one by the. So I think she's making the connection that the true love will be what saves them. that's the best interpretation of it I can find, is that's the connection she's making. It still sounds not apt to what you would want from Star Wars, and I got major Eternals vibes from the entire trailer.
Oh God, yeah.
I think one of the biggest problems with the trailer is that if you don't know about the show, if you don't know that it's set 100 years before, if you've never heard of the High Republic, which the vast majority of people haven't because no one reads those books, if you don't know any of that shit, what are you even thinking about with this trailer? Because it gives you no time frame for where they are, when they are, what their goals are. It gives you no idea what's going on. And I thought that was a strange way to approach it, and like try to remove myself from what I know about it and set myself as a random Star Wars person who's watching this, as a random Star Wars fan. And it's like, what the fuck is this?
No
even
one
supposed to
is
be?
reading those High Republic books. No one. So I don't know what they even less than people that watched all the Marvel Disney Plus extra stuff. Less than that. So
But all the Disney stuff is so vague. Like they love just the vagueness of the trailers. Even the shows are vague.
Well,
Like,
this is
nothing-
one of the things that I picked up on when I was trying to analyze this trailer. Like, okay, like the point of a trailer is one, to get you excited for the show, show you a bunch of really cool stuff, and give you some insight into what the story is going to be. What are the stakes? Who are the main characters? What are they trying to do? Something. And I got really nothing from this trailer apart from somebody's killing Jedi. That's it. That's all I got. I didn't. The rest of it was just a collection of scenes of people just doing stuff, but there was no narrative thread that tied any of it together. It was
Diverse women.
a weird trailer.
there were
like a
strong,
Star Wars
diverse women.
checklist. But
Yeah,
they,
it
you
was
know, they
really
got
bad.
the words in balance, power, like just these points, you know, and then we meant to get excited because we see 52 lightsabers light up, and that's about
Yeah.
it.
I see fire. My favorite.
It was like, yeah, you know, take some things that people recognize. Well, people recognize the Jedi training facility on Coruscant. Like they recognize the younglings, and so put that stuff in there. Okay, fine, but like you've got to give us more than that. You've got to give us a thread to pull on here. You've got to give us something that's going to pull us in. And there was nothing that gave me any sort of interest about this show. It just looked bland and forgettable. And wow, like, you know, we talked about this just before we went live. It was diverse as fuck.
Was it though? Because there
to the
weren't
point
too many whiteys.
No,
That's what
like,
diversity
I
means to
made
them. So yeah, it was very, according to them, diverse. And yes, queen, yes.
I made
all
a
the white
point of
people
this
bowing.
in my review just earlier, where it's like I took that scene where all the younglings are there in the Jedi Temple, and it's like, okay, spot the white kid. There's not a single one. It's all like they're all female, 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 alien, a couple of black kids, an Asian kid, more females, and that's it. There's not a single white kid anywhere there.
There's one white man that I saw in the trailer, and it was the person that was getting mind tricked by the Asian Jedi. And if you turn on the closed captions, his name is just Convict. So ironically, the only white person in this thing's in jail.
Well,
that's the one I'm
statistics
gonna
in
relate
Star
to the
Wars are
most.
very different than statistics here. They're reversed of who commits crime. Unfortunately, it's very.
I don't know if what they're trying to go for here is almost saying like, okay, this is the point where you're at the height of the power of this republic. Like this is the era of peace, prosperity, stability, because it's run by women. But what you're actually saying is this is just before everything collapses.
Because it's run
like,
by women.
That's what happens when you put them in control of everything.
Anti-woman show.
It is 100 years,
Ironically,
right?
that's about what we're going to see from House of the Dragon as well. So
I would say, Ryan, it is
Oh, those
100 years,
trailers,
right?
though, much
The
more original.
difference, because we kept hearing it was 50 years, and if it's 50 years, they're definitely going to step all over the Plagueis book. If it's 100 years, they're still probably going to step over it, but they at least have more leeway because maybe just Plagueis' master Tenebris or Tenebrae. No, Tenebris, sorry. Tenebris is the other one.
I think it's 100 years. That's what I've read. This is meant to be 100 years
Yeah.
before the events of the prequels.
that's what
She's
it
gonna
sounds like
poach
at
it.
this point. And yeah, you got to wonder exactly what they're going to do, how they're going to work the Sith into this. And if anybody discovers a Sith, and to make sure all those motherfuckers die if they do.
Because did you see her saying she was excited they let her use canon? Sorry, MauLer. Is it that she was excited they let her use canon, which means she's probably going to take all the Plagueis stuff and just boop, boop, boop. Plagueis will be a woman now.
Go ahead, MauLer.
Also, don't worry about interrupting me because I'm fucking lagging. Apparently, I'll try and fix that over the course of this stream.
Well,
What's
I
going
mean,
on
do you
with
want
that?
to...
If you just drop
want
and
to
come back, it might
Yeah,
work.
just come out and come back in. It's probably easier. It'll probably reset your connection.
We'll try that right after saying that. I would have thought Ryan would have liked the trailer, at least the racism part of it, right? Because like they're all telling him to close their eyes, and there's that one alien that doesn't even have eyelids.
Can't
And
close
he's
his
just
eyes.
sitting there.
Funniest
Yeah.
shit ever. Like
It's
That
ableist.
was-
Very ableist of them.
that's so xenophobic.
Mhm.
You know, how
Xenophobic
dare
and
you
ableist.
give a
They're like-
command like that?
See, the teacher realized like halfway through the lesson was like, "Oh fuck, shit! All right, don't worry about it, man." Like,
Not you,
I've never seen a
Zondo. You
puppet
don't
look
count.
awkward.
hands on your eyes.
It's a
Yeah,
bit
I'll try
weird, like,
rejoined.
how does that dude sleep if he can't even close his eyes?
Membrane. Alien
yeah.
eye membrane.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't sleep.
That's true.
Maybe-
Yeah, maybe he
maybe-
How do
doesn't.
they keep?
He just
How do they
eats.
keep doing those things? Like, if you're going to write in the script, close your eyes, you don't grab the puppet that doesn't have eyelids. Like, it just seems a pretty obvious thing to do.
It just feels like nobody on this show gave a fuck, or
All
nobody
that
even
scene
thought
was-
about that stuff.
Was ripping off the prequels. It was the scene of Yoda teaching the younglings, and then like the basic message of like, don't trust your eyes, they'll deceive you. Because it's a sophisticated key jangling. And sort of what Leslie was saying is that she's sophisticatedly key jangling while inserting her own message of queerness in a queer world as a queer girl.
Well, I don't mind echoes of what should be true, right? You know, if we see the way the Jedi Order was 100 years before the way it is now, and you know, we assume we do kind of assume they've gotten dogmatic and they don't want to change. They're pretty rigid and things like that. It's kind of what we get in the prequels. You would assume that 100 years before would be similar. So I don't mind, you know, them showing that, hey, we've been training this way. Things that doesn't bother me as much as some other like super hard like character cameo nostalgia bait would. Because the Jedi Order should be like that, you know.
Yaddle, Yoda, Yazriel Proof. Who else can they ruin that should be alive that won't? Because the one High Republic book I read, they said Yoda was on a sabbatical.
Well, I was going to say, like, for your generic key jangling, the only character that you're going to be able to work in that people will remember is Yoda, like general audiences.
Mhm.
That's the only one who can conceivably be alive at this time period. So, yeah, I guess expect to see him.
I said on, I think I said on Stargrift that I think we're actually as a backdoor prequel for how Grogu was born, because we're going to see that Yoda and Yaddle were clapping cheeks, and that's what we're actually going to see. That's what's going to be exposed. It's Yoda that's killing Jedi that know his secret, that he's been fucking Yaddle on the side.
It works because it makes him a hypocrite, and they could, oh look, he was corrupt all along. It was
What
the
couldn't it
Me
be
Too inside the
Yoda and
Jedi
Trinity?
Order.
Like, I think Trinity would find Yoda quite attractive, wouldn't she? They could maybe get together. Just saying, Ryan. open the option.
What was going on with Carrie Ann Moss and her weird, like, I've got no spinal column fighting style, where it's like she's just completely rigid the whole time. Like, why
I don't
is she
know.
doing that?
It's
I'm
evoking
happy
the
to see
Matrix. Shut up. It's cool.
It's Terra
not
Kasai.
cool, though. It's
a
fucking
Star Wars
retarded.
martial art.
It's so cool. It's so cool. You don't even know how cool it is.
She
You can't help but
favored.
think, even though I'm happy to see it, their originality, like, you just know they're just like, okay, we need this sort of character. Oh, she was like that in the Matrix. Go hire her. Like, there's just no original thought anywhere. You know, I'm happy to see it, but yeah, would have been good to see her do something a little bit different.
But we want
And
lightsaber fights, and she gave her throwing knives and made her dodge. And it's like this. I want just. If the criticism is that we just want lightsaber fights and blasters and all that, well, this certainly wasn't catering to that. Like,
It's not like I want lightsabers everywhere and like they just get overused to the point where they don't mean anything anymore. But like, if you have to engage in combat with someone and you have a lightsaber, it doesn't make any sense why you wouldn't use it. It's a massive advantage in any fight.
and to Ryan's point, anyone they introduce that in any way could expose the Sith, you know, because we know what happens. It has to all lead to Palpatine and Sidious taking over. They have to all be gone by the end of this. You can't have any sneaky thing where you introduce a new side character that just stays. No, they all have to be gone. Jedi and any other rivals alike, because it seems like
I
it's
feel
more
like
than
I'm the
just
only
two
one with
Siths.
the spicy take on that of just that's like the last thing I would expect them to nail in any way, shape, or form, and them breaking it wouldn't be a surprise in any way. Like
Oh, they're
them,
gonna break it.
them contradicting a line from the prequels is like, well, yeah, that's like lower on the list of the horrible problems they're gonna have. They would give a shit, you know.
They
Yeah, but
destroyed Darth Vader, so this is nothing.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, oh, they'll annihilate one of the most like fucking financially beneficial characters, several of them in their fucking IP. But maybe they won't break a line from the prequels about the continuity of Sith. You're like,
But they'll change motivations or something.
It's more so, that line to me is more so the importance, because it's kind of the entire mindset of the Jedi and the entire history of this stuff, like how much has led up to this staying secret for a millennia, all leading up to this moment. But there are ways to have people that have red lightsabers that don't make them Sith, right? We've seen a multitude of them throughout Star Wars content. So just because someone has a lightsaber doesn't mean that they will assume they're Sith. In fact, they might assume they're not because they haven't been around for 900 years at this point. But who knows? Who knows if the lightsaber we saw is actually a Sith?
Ryan, has Disney got you? Are you a shill now? You getting checks from Disney now?
They're not paying out much, but I'm trying.
That's just indicative of the fact that like Star Wars is pretty cooked as an IP anyway, and the fact that we're like red lightsaber means bad. Like,
but the way they're doing it, and they just changed the red lightsaber dynamics too. They changed it to, it used to be they were synthetic, and now they have to bleed them or whatever the hell that means, where you focus negative energy on it. So they keep changing those dynamics, but it didn't used to mean automatically. There were dark, like Brian said, there were ironically dark acolytes, and there were dark force users, and other people that just dark Jedi, whatever.
Well, like, I mean, with the mechanics as they work, you could just have someone, like Kylo threw his stupid fucking lightsaber in the ocean. It's like, if some just fisherman found that and he has it, it's like, oh god, he's a Sith. It's like, no, I'm just a guy. Like,
Kylo wasn't a Sith. That was a common,
I'm not even talking about that, though. Like,
I know, the mechanics for sure changed.
That's the show I want, the fisherman that finds that lightsaber.
I couldn't get, like, I was there entirely for the memes when it came to, like, that poster.
That's what I'm here for.
The tampons, the pads, like a multitude of memes were made very quickly. And you're spot on when you talked about it at the beginning. We've known the show has been in the works for a while. They put a trailer out that was fairly similar to this trailer at Star Wars Celebration a year ago in April. And that they never released anything else. Any teasers, any pictures, nothing. This is the first thing we have 2.5 months before it premieres. They knew it was probably going to get wrecked, and they know the PR around this is generally bad, which is probably why they wanted to hide it for this long.
Well, I mean,
I like the poster. They must have thought there's nothing they can do with this poster. It's just a bit of blood. We're safe. They won't make fun of it.
First thing I thought, period.
Like, clearly you have underestimated the internet here.
Yes, that was my favorite.
Disappoint.
Especially with the always, the brand right there. I love it.
Was this supposed to be like Crate? Is that supposed to be like the sand, or is that supposed to be blood? Either way, it's a horrible choice. It's a horrible choice.
I think because what they were going for is like, this is a murder mystery, isn't it? That's the
Jedi are dying.
And it's an investigative mystery, murder mystery kind of thing. So blood, murder, lightsabers. Okay, let's try and combine all of those into a poster. Doesn't make sense because lightsabers don't leave blood, they cauterize wounds, but whatever, who cares?
Mistake in the first one that I think got CGI'd out, one of the special editions, where when Obi-Wan cuts off the guy's arm, there's a bunch of blood on the ground. Would have cauterized it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But again, that's the thinking behind it. It looks cool. It's like, it ties in with the theme of what we're going for here. Does it make sense in universe? No, don't care. Who cares? No one cares. It doesn't matter. It's just none of this stuff matters. Like, I don't get an impression that anyone associated with this show cared remotely about like preserving the continuity or the world building of Star Wars, adhering to the rules. Why would they? It doesn't matter to them. Like, you're never going to convince me that someone like Leslie Headland is a Star Wars fan, that she cares about this IP. You got that crocodile tears speech at Star Wars Celebration where she said that Star Wars literally saved her life. I don't believe you. I don't think you're telling the truth here.
She always talks like she's the drunk person at a dinner party where they have to, flourish every story and color it. But she talks like that in interviews and when she's on stage in front of a couple of thousand people. Like when they asked her about her favorite Star Wars movie, and it's like, oh, all of them. I can't pick one. I'm just such a big fan. They're like, so dramatic.
It was like that fucking Brie Larson YouTube video where it's like, "What, Brie? What's your favorite game? Nintendo."
So for anybody listening who wonders what I would assume a real answer is Oscar Isaac asked what his favorite Star Wars movie is, and he says that it's going to be Return of the Jedi, despite the fact that Empire is probably the better film. Like, that's his answer, which is like, that sounds real. That sounds like that's where he's actually thought about it.
Yeah, it's someone who might have actually watched them before, but before begging Kathleen Kennedy for a job. This is the same person who said that she cried beginning to end in Frozen as an adult woman because seeing a love between sisters, not a heterosexual romance, it was something she could identify with as a queer person.
Yeah, she also said George.
Yeah,
wasn't
I'm
the
not
end-all,
sure what she
be-all.
was saying with that, but that was a bizarre comment to make.
That is a weird statement, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, the only way you as a queer person can feel represented is when you see two sisters love each other. I don't know.
A little on the nose.
Yeah, it's a little strange to me, but hey. And also part of that was like she talked about how she enjoyed that it was like the de-villainization of a villain. That's one of the things she enjoyed about that as well. So I think that's what we're going to see in this too.
Oh,
yeah,
they're going to make it
sure.
super about power dynamics. And this is the same group of people that were like, remember how patriarchal Star Wars was even though it's led by a woman in the first one that rescues them. And it's all patriarchy. It's all about power, all those little fun little buzzwords.
Yeah, what was it? It was Jodie Turner-Smith that said that, wasn't it? When she was...
Yeah,
she was talking
the
about
one in
character.
her one shot of the trailer, she's being worshipped by all the less melanated people around her while she Wakanda's forward, as Memology pointed out. Yeah, it's not a good picture when you put it all together.
But we've already had this. I mean, Reva, I feel like we're watching the Obi-Wan show again. Like, we've got the little black girl. She goes bad. She's really the hero. Like,
possibly stabbed twice.
Yeah, I figure she'll be a good guy by the end for sure.
Yeah.
Tragic death or something.
Oh,
well,
100%.
like Leslie Headland said herself, like, this is about telling Star Wars from the perspective of the villains because they are the underdogs in this situation. The High Republic is the dominant force. The Sith are the ones who are outnumbered and outgunned in this. They are the underdogs. So what? Are we meant to root for them? Like... Why?
It's like you can, and this has been done before, and I know Ryan has probably read a bunch where you go from the villains, the Sith's perspective, like, but it's still clear that they're villains. It's like, even if you understand why they're doing horrible things, this is going to literally be that, like, no, they're like this way just because of anything but the fact that there's good and evil, and George was pretty clear there is good and evil.
It's going to be as clumsy as when TLJ tried to have that scene of, like, the arms... sellers who sell weapons and ships and warships and stuff to both the First Order and the Galactic Republic. You know, it's saying like, well, nobody's really good or bad. They're all just customers. It's all just this big war machine that keeps on moving. It's going to be as clunky as that, trying to draw comparisons so that you don't really feel anything towards anyone anymore because they're all just perspectives. Like in a more intelligent screenplay, you can explore stuff like that. I just don't think they've got anywhere near the skill and the nuance to be able to do anything like this,
or the willpower
they won't be able
to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, if you look at Game of Thrones, we watched a guy push a kid out a window so he could root his sister, and in the end, we were on his side.
Yeah,
It can be done and be entertaining.
And Homelander. A lot of people love, even though they like to think that we're rooting him for the wrong. That we know who Homelander is bad, even though they do those stupid analogies. But like, yeah, you can root for the bad guy while understanding the bad guy is bad. You don't have to make a weird analogy for them to somehow just be misunderstood. Palpatine's not misunderstood at all. I don't think
I get the impression as well. Like, if say the villains in this case were male, they wouldn't try to present things from their point of view, but they will in this case because they're almost certainly going to be female, and so like suddenly they become redeemable. They become someone that you have to understand. You have to see their perspective.
Look at how they've been oppressed. Look at what the Jedi do. Like blah blah blah.
Well, it's the same energy as like what the fuck was it called? That stupid Netflix movie, Damsel. The one with the one with Millie Bobby Brown, right? So you've got this evil dragon that's been eating young women for decades, if not hundreds of years, right? Every generation, it eats 3 young women who have to be sacrificed to it. And you find out it was duped into eating the wrong ones because like the royal family just like cut these girls on the hand to make it think that they were of royal blood. Don't ask me how that works, but apparently it was enough to fool it. So
we're
it's
just
meant to
taking
be
peasants and switching them out for royalty.
Yeah, but it's like, even if you were right and you were actually eating royal bloodlines, you're still killing innocent people.
I was about to say, how's that better?
The fucking movie wants you to empathize with the dragon because someone killed like a couple of its eggs like 500 years ago. Because it's a female. That's literally it. Like, if it was a male dragon, it'd be like, no, fucking kill that son of a bitch right now. That's the morality, and it happens every fucking time with modern films. With modern,
it's like with Wish, where we were all agreeing with the villain, where they're like, "Well, no, it actually sounds sort of. You shouldn't give everyone their wish. That would be horrible." Haven't you seen Bruce Almighty? Like, they are so incapable.
Wonder Woman 84. That's what
yes, yes, where there was some unintentional, unconsented coupling with. I mean, not that dude would probably be complaining, but still, if that was reversed, but that goes with all of this. If all of this was reversed, they would never do it, but they're literally possessed across all fronts, and we've seen that, thankfully, from the people exposing, why they can't do these things the proper way.
It showed like the trailer was when we haven't mentioned once anything really in the trailer except for what's lacking in the trailer. Like there was no scene where we're like, oh wow, I can't wait to see what that's going to be about.
Well, ask yourself this: like, did you see a single character where you thought, "Oh, wow, that person's really fascinating. I want to know more about them."
He's a good actor.
Carrie-Anne Moss, because I like The Matrix, and that's probably why they had to do martial arts. That's it.
Yeah, but it's all the meta, isn't it? It's like you like the actor,
yes,
but nothing to do with the character.
Because I'm afraid. I know they're going to ruin established lore, because even Plagueis is not exactly the old expanded universe. But yeah, they're going to take something that's what they always do. They can take something that was good or great and make it not even mediocre. I would have been fine with mediocre, but it's whatever we're getting now. Like that, thankfully, Ryan has articulated why I wasn't feeling Andor, and that was because I realized, oh yeah, this is Kyle Katarn and Jan Orris that I'm watching. And yet again, a greater thing that was then diluted. And I'm sure it's great on its own, but it's just when you realize what it could have been, that's where the frustration comes in. I think that I'm going to have the same experience with this. I know what it could have been, and what it is will be big disappointment.
Well, this is going to be much different because I think although Andor didn't captivate a ton of people, the people that did watch it liked it and they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
This, I also don't think it's going to captivate a ton of people, and the people that do watch it are going to fucking hate it, right? Like the fact that this trailer is, it's almost at 300,000 dislikes now, 158 up, 295,000 down.
God bless those Chrome extensions that let you see the dislikes.
Because they know the game, they see how it's played. The Sweet Baby Ink thing is fresh in everyone's mind, and it's the same game here. And it's just now, once you see it everywhere. And I think this is just, they can't get away with it anymore. And bless the Lord of the Rings fans for doing it first on the Rings of Power. But I think now Star Wars fans are getting it too. On to the next franchise that's been conquered.
The thing is, we knew this was going to happen. Like, they never made any secret of the fact that the Acolyte was going to push the message as hard as it possibly could. Like, Leslie Headland straight up said, like, I, as a queer woman of whatever disability I identify with, I am going to work all of this into my story. This is going to be one where I can feel represented because it's about me. And it's all going to be about female representation. We're going to have gay characters as much as we possibly can. Everything, every checkbox that we can possibly work in, we're going to do it. So they said right off the bat that they were going to do it.
And then if you listen to all the actors talk about it, it's the same thing. Amanda Stenberg, it didn't always feel safe for Black people in science fiction spaces. I'm glad to be here to bust through another fake glass ceiling I invented. You had the person talking about
nothing's more terrifying and intimidating than a bunch of fucking nerds.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh my god!
Especially the same ones that have loved Lando and Mace Windu for fucking decades and decades. And you had the other chick, Jodie, whatever her name is, talking about how it's great to see women in Star Wars. It's been so patriarchal for so long, and now the women are here. And it's great to see a story like that. Was every one of them. They weren't talking about Star Wars up on the thing for Star Wars Celebration. They were talking about their own identities and why they were happy to see their own identities in a Star Wars show. Like that's all you get. When that's all the PR you have for something like this, what are people going to expect? They're going to expect to see that very same thing in the actual content because that's what you promised. That's what you've done for the past 12 years at Disney Star Wars.
That's all they got. That's all they got.
But they keep going back
really
to
is.
they keep going back to pretending they've just taken over as well. Like, how long's it been? You know, we're past a decade, aren't we? And we've just had Ahsoka and all these shows. Women just pushed in left, right, and center, but they still want to go back to promoting it as finally a woman. Finally, we've got some chicks in this.
I know. Like, how many times can you play that card before people just don't care anymore? Well, clearly we know the answer to that because people don't care anymore.
Yes.
I like how one of the top comments on the trailer is close your eyes. What do you see? The message. It's one of the top comments.
I think my favorite one was like, what do you see? I see my mum in the Amazon researching spiders right before she died.
Yeah. There's another one. What do you see? The comment section getting turned off. Yeah. Close your eyes. What do you see? I'm shaking hands with Dumbledore. I've just won the House Cup. There's some good shit in there.
Yeah. Just before I carry on here, I just wanted to read out one or two super chats because there's one here for $200 dues. This is from Tim Brewer. You absolute Chad, you says, Drinker, MauLer, and Pano. Just wanted to thank you all for being so awesome. It's my birthday this weekend, and what better way to start the festivities than an open bar with you fine folks. Drinks are on me. Cheers. Thank you very much, man. I'll raise a glass to you. Thank you for that.
You got to like someone that celebrates their birthday by shouting drinks.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Mm-hmm.
$200. That was a very generous super chat, so thank you. There was another one here that just... sorry, I'm scrolling through them here. This one was... Oh, man, they've come in too fast, and I can't actually see it. It's moved past too quickly. All right, I'll have to come back to that.
We had a $50 one from Fear the Tardo.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find that one, actually.
You got to read it extra slow and special when you read it.
Yeah.
Rai.
I'll put like a flourish into it when I say it.
Whoever does those, man, that's dedication, but it makes me laugh almost every single time.
Yeah. I can read if you want. Yeah, I got it.
You find it? I can't see it.
If you go to Star in StreamYard, if you go to Starred instead of the live chat, you can
okay,
yeah. Fear the Tardo for $50. Hi, Christopher Drinker, Mama, and Rest panel. Tardo glad to see Uncle Rai on Open Bra. Nobody better bring up women because Uncle Rai no like women unless Feet Carlson. Uncle Rai love Feet Carlson, which is why love Captain Manville. Lock it in. Yay. There you go.
Only if there's suspicious numbers of them. But yeah, thank you, man. Mm-hmm. And thank you for reading that out. I found the one as well. It was from John McKinley, who said, Drinker, you beautiful bringer of democracy. Awesome seeing you, Az, and Kara play yesterday. Ryan, if you love freedom, then you will join the fight too. Hail, fellow drunklers, and cheers to you all. Yeah, when are you going to play Helldivers, man?
So officially, I will be playing Helldivers in a week. A week, Thursday night next week. I'll be fighting for freedom and democracy around whatever fucking planet that is. So,
but unofficially, you've already played, and you're like a level 17, and
I don't even have it downloaded. I don't even have
You'll
a
like it. You'll like it.
Yeah, you'll like it. I mean,
it'll still be around. It's not going away anytime soon. The memes, the community around it, it's too strong. It's really good. The gameplay loop, it's all you need. There's none of the forced inclusion or anything. You will like it.
Yeah. I like as well because people were apparently demanding that they turn off friendly fire, and the developers said, "Nah, fuck off." That's what makes it
integral.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Because there's no quicker way to fall out with one of your friends than accidentally killing them in this game.
Yeah, Ryan, it's really funny to carpet bomb your friends or some shit.
Don't do what someone did.
I did it to Disparu last night.
That's what you say. Don't do what someone did to Jeremy and told him all the wrong advice. Like, don't run up on the bot factories or people
somebody super chatted Jeremy like $200 on his stream and gave him like, Jeremy, this is really important to play Helldivers. Give him a list of like advice of how to play because he never played before. It was all the opposite of what he was supposed to do. And since it was like such a big super chat, he like thought it was real. So
it's like, remember, orbital strikes can't hurt you, so feel free to call them down on your own position.
What he said.
Yeah. There's another one here for $100. Says Nohovtik. says, it's good to come back to logic and understanding after subjecting myself to Halo torture with the finale today. I'm going to drink till I drop to forget. Lamau.
I feel like I'm the only person who even knows anything about the Halo show. I'm assuming none of you have watched it.
I watched up to the fourth episode, and I haven't continued to. Of the second season, I haven't continued to. And I've played all the games, so it's just really painful for me.
Is anyone watching
tomorrow? It? Yeah, I am. For doing EFAP TVs on it, they're coming along great. It's an awful fucking TV show that no one is watching. It's amazing, actually.
That's why I stopped watching, because no one even cared about talking about it to shit on it. It's that bad. It's.
I heard that he hasn't been in his armor all season long.
They have him eating dinner.
The excuse for it narrative is fucking insane. Why he can't have his armor? Fringy has had many rants about it. It's so stupid. But they were desperate to not have him in the armor again. So
didn't he fucking straight up die at the end of the last season? And they poured Cortana into his brain, and she just wore him like a meat.
Literally, the opening of this season is just they undo that. Like in a flashback, by the way, we literally cut in to them on a mission where he's back to being John Halo, and it's just like, hello.
Yeah, it's CW level of the
smell shite.
Oh, you're shite indeed. Of them out of their armor having dinner with civilians. CW level feelings in hallways. Yes, yeah, it's bad.
God, well, I'm really glad that I've avoided that then. So yeah, saved myself.
You took the hit for me on Danzel, so I will take the hit for you, and MauLer will take the hit for you on Halo. Don't do it.
That's a good deal on my part, because Damsel was 2 hours? Like Halo was 10 hours?
See Damsel eventually. My fucking fan base is set.
Angela Bassett's accent is all I heard about.
I'm still baffled as to how she is like the queen of a medieval kingdom in what is clearly like Northern Europe. Yeah. That is the modern version of fantasy right there, fellas.
That's what it is. Just accept it.
Yeah, it's just like medieval Europe was as diverse as central London. Sure, okay, fine. Yeah, I got you. Anyway, the other aspect of Star Wars that's happening right now is George Lucas has emerged from his fucking cryogenic sleep or something to give his opinions on the proxy fight that's going on for Disney board seats right now. And Nelson Peltz has a chance to get one or two board seats here that might actually alter the course of Disney and stop them producing absolute garbage and maybe start getting back to profitability. And I guess that didn't sit well with George. And he said, no, I back Iger all the way. You should definitely support him. Nothing to do with the fact that I'm a majority shareholder in Disney or anything. Maybe Iger's got some kind of clause that lets him take control of my shares, but whatever. And it just felt like, wow, that's really just another nail in the coffin right there. When George Lucas, of all people, is going to support the guy who absolutely fucking destroyed his favorite IPs. You know, the things that he created and built up over decades. I don't even know what to say to it, really. It's an interesting choice.
I don't think George gives a fuck anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. I don't think he gives a fuck. Like, I think that he let go of Star Wars when he sold it. He was probably pretty disappointed those first couple of years, and after that, he really just. The reason he sold is because he didn't want to make any more movies. You know what I mean? Because it was just he wanted to spend time with his family, didn't want to be stressed out, didn't want to worry about that shit. And to me, the idea of Nelson Peltz getting on the board has always been like a very far-fetched thing for me. Period. And then to put on top of that, if he does get one or two seats on the board, they're still surrounded by Bob Iger yes men. So I think it might slow some things down, but I don't know how much it'll really change when it comes to Disney. And I think George is just looking at business. His guys are probably looking at business-wide and say, hey, it's probably just better to back Bob Iger. This probably isn't going to have too much effect anyway, and it's probably steadier for your shares. That's my guess. The one thing I take issue with in the George Lucas issuing that statement was basically one of the first things it said, creating magic is not for amateurs. That was the only thing that kind of bothered me with George's statement. The whole thing's a big PR thing. That is the most antithetical to George Lucas thing to say. This is the guy who went outside of normal Hollywood. This is the guy who's been encouraging fan films for so long. This is the guy who wanted nothing to do with the big corporate structure of Hollywood for so long before selling Star Wars to them. For him to say, creating magic is not for amateurs is so silly. Because if that was the case, we never would have got Star Wars. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Ryan, I say
Yeah,
that
but like
statement,
creating magic is also not for retards. But Disney, like, it hasn't stopped them.
that's their political line. That trailer that they released, their propaganda trailer of "Don't vote for the Treon group, vote for them." They're painting them as amateurs. So George saying it's not for amateurs is like an echoing of that statement. That, oh no, all these guys don't know what they're doing, even though they have $3 billion worth of stock. And yeah, George, I think the reason it's so shocking is because he did make that comment about he sold this stuff to white slavers. He called them, that he felt betrayed, but apparently not enough to fully trust anyone else with what's left of the money Star Wars is still making.
Yeah, and regardless, again, I think we probably take it more personally than George does in some ways. What has happened to Star Wars?
Yeah.
He's known a lot of these people for decades and decades, and at the end of the day, I don't know if you guys have seen George lately. He's getting old.
That picture that they showed of him, he looks rough. He looks frail now.
He looks old, and I've seen pictures of him walking lately, and he looks old. And I just think this isn't a guy who's ready to sit down and have a fucking battle or stir shit up. He's literally done all he's wanted to do in life and just wants to kind of relax. And was probably asked to, put out a statement and back Bob Iger. Bob Iger probably called him and said, "Hey, do you mind doing this?" He's like, "Okay."
I was gonna say, I wish he had said nothing, but then that's it. They probably asked him, and he just said yes. He said okay.
Why can't he be like? Why can't he? Yeah, why can't he go the William Shatner road, right? It's like, I'm old as fuck, I'm rich as fuck, I don't have to care about anything anymore, I'm just going to speak my mind. That's what I do. Because that's how you're going to be remembered. You can either be remembered as the guy who stood up for what was right and spoke his mind and was honest and fair and truthful at the end, or you can be a fucking pussy who sold out when you didn't need to sell out. You're already like a billionaire. Like, it's not like you ever have to worry about money for the remainder of your time on this earth, or your children or your dependents or anything. They're going to be set for life. Like, why not just be honest? Why not just say, yeah, these guys fucked up my IP. Like, I built this in my lifetime and they've destroyed it in a decade.
Well, if you remember in Bob Iger's book he wrote, there was something in there that he asked George not to say anything bad about the movies. Like, he asked him not to publicly say anything bad about it, just to, for the health of Star Wars and all that stuff. And a lot of people have brought up, well, we might have an NDA, or he might have a non-disparagement clause and things like that. I don't think he has a non-disparagement clause. I just think he's also the owner of all this shit too, or he's got a lot of money in there. And I think he just thinks, let's just let it be and give it to my kids whatever I got left when I pass away.
You know what I would do then? Like, if you just want a quiet life, I wouldn't have said anything.
But he was probably asked, like they said,
wouldn't have come out in support of Peltz or of Iger. I would have just said, you know what, I'm an old man and it's not my business anymore. I'm just going to chill. Fine. Like, it's still a pussy move, but at least you're not like actively supporting the people that destroyed your fucking life's work.
They're still making money though.
But who cares? Like, when you're 80 years old, what does money fucking matter? When you're already like a billionaire, what more can you achieve?
Remember, it's worth keeping in mind as well. He feels a little bitterness toward people's reaction to the prequels, right? Like, a lot of people explain that's part of why he was happy to sell it. He was like, yeah, someone else can have a go, I guess. And then seeing, there's all kinds of memes like, it's not so easy, is it? When they started to tank in terms of their reputation. But at the same time, maybe he really did, like Ryan said, sort of say goodbye, let it go, and he doesn't think about it the same way we do. Like, how long has it been since he signed now?
Well, okay, fine. So, like, I would equate this to, like, I don't know, like, I've got my house, right, and I tried to build like a fucking summer house in my back garden, and it was a bit shit, and my neighbor laughed at me. Like, okay, that made me feel bad. Then I got a builder in to fix it, and he set my house on fire and took a shit in my living room, and and like bulldozed my entire property. That thing is way worse than what I did. It's way worse than the reaction I got to what I tried to do. So I don't like that construction company more than my neighbors.
That comment, Ryan, that you were saying about the amateur, it's not for amateurs. But after he did that Red Tails film, he went on a whole tour bagging the studios because they wouldn't support him, and he had to pay out of his own pocket to make that Red Tails movie. And I think he was on Oprah, he's on everyone, just going on and on about how now the studios support him, they don't understand artists. And then for him to turn around now and say it's not for amateurs is a weird one.
Yeah, that's the only thing that bothers me about the whole statement. And like, again, I could easily see a situation where George is told by his financial advisor, whoever, be like, hey, there's probably not a big chance of Nelson Peltz winning this thing anyway. It's probably just better for stability of the stock, which you own a fuck ton of.
He's the number one individual shareholder. So
exactly. Yeah. So it might be better for the stock if you just say, hey, keep the status quo, because any appearance of infighting might just be worse for this. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where I think this decision is coming from. And I don't like it. And I would like to think that if I was in the position, I wouldn't do that. But I'm not in that position. I haven't been through all the shit he's been through.
He divorced himself, like you said.
Give it time, Ryan. We'll get you on the Disney board.
Yeah. It's the last nail in the coffin, though, for those people that were holding out hope that, because there definitely were people out there who felt this way, that somehow George Lucas was going to come riding in on a fucking white horse, like clad in like shining armor, and he was going to take back control of Lucasfilm, and he was going to put things right. He was going to fix Star Wars.
I never believed
that. Clearly, that's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. He is not the George Lucas that made the OT. He is an old man now, and he is kind of timid and sad, and he's just like wants to live a quiet life. So he is done as a creative force.
He didn't want to do it 12 years ago. He ain't going to do it now. And some people have gaslit themselves. Some people have been gaslit into believing that George Lucas has been waging this secret war, right, against like Kathleen Kennedy and shit. And that never was the case.
I have it, Ryan, I have it on good authority that Kathleen Kennedy is going to get fired within the next few days.
She's never leaving.
I bet you do. We heard it on good authority that the Acolyte was canceled and Leslie Headland was fired too. Somehow that trailer just came out, so I don't know. Don't know what to say.
George backing Dave Filoni, the OG. Back in the day, I had a problem with it. No decisions he's made have ever made me understand that. And worse, it only empowered Dave. George, tell me everything, because you had some meetings. Great. Sorry, Ryan. I shamelessly steal your Dave Filoni impersonation. But, Dave, tell me everything. It's just, I hate everything he's done. He pushes his characters. Again, even George says Ahsoka should have been gone before Order 66 or at Order 66. And yet still, here she is doing everything Luke should be currently doing in Star Wars in live action.
Did that guy win the lotto, Dave Filoni? God.
How? What did he say to George to get him to think that he would? That's what I will never understand. What he saw, what George saw in Kathy, and what he saw in Dave to give them like, here you go.
I was going to say maybe George isn't a great judge of character. He sold his company to Bob Iger. He handed the keys over to Kathleen Kennedy, and people claim that Filoni was his right hand man, even though he's never claimed that. So. Yeah.
And he created Jar Jar Binks. So,
hey, hold up. This is Jar Jar slander here.
Yeah. You know what's an interesting thing to consider as well, right? We all, we've criticized Kathleen Kennedy for her management of Lucasfilm and stuff. But the thing is, he hired her. Ultimately, he put her in that position and said, like, she's the person who's going to succeed me. So who's the true idiot in this situation? Like, she is a moron, but like she just did what she's always done. Like she's not really surprised anyone with her running of Lucasfilm. George, I guess, made the call to put her in that position and give her that responsibility. I don't know, man.
Maybe she's that
there's
good.
A lot to be said for like where do you sit in this chain of events, George?
She blames it all on toxic fans. She's just that good at spinning it. Everything that's wrong with Star Wars is our fault, and they somehow believe it. And I don't know. I don't know how else she's getting away with the consistent failures. You know what I'm saying? Like on some level.
But like I say, with someone like Kathleen Kennedy, it's like, well, okay, clearly she does not have the creative instincts to run a studio like this. She might have been fine as a producer when she was given specific tasks to do, where you're basically just organizing stuff to make a film happen. Like, okay, fine, you can do that. But when you're suddenly put in charge of a studio and you have to actually map out a creative vision for where this entire franchise is going, that's a very different role. That's a very different set of responsibilities. And a person like George, who's going to select someone to take on a role like that, should have been smart enough to say, she doesn't have that instinct. She is not creative in that way. I don't think I should hire her. I should find someone else who's better suited to this role. But he put her in it anyway. So a lot of this is kind of down to him, I suppose.
And like you said, Angry Badger, it was also Dave Filoni. So I don't think we can really praised George for his staff choices or who was going to take over his reign.
I think it's a lot Filoni. A lot of the major things are him for whatever reason.
Well, I'm just glad that he's been overseeing everything. You know what I mean? That
We can blame him
he's
for
had
all
his
this,
hands
right?
on everything. He was a consultant on Obi-Wan. He's consulting on Acolyte. Like that's his job now, right? Just oversee everything. So I'm just glad we can finally put the blame where it really belongs.
You know what? All of this is just really finally brought home to me. I don't fucking care anymore about Star Wars. Like,
after Ahsoka, that's what I just thought. I'm just not watching this anymore. I mean, I'm back on board now. I'm going to watch this next show.
but then it's
For the
not because
the memeing.
yeah, it's like you're going to watch it because for the memes, and it's going to be it'll be fun to take the piss out of it, but you're not actually invested in it. You don't care about it. Of course,
I don't see the Star Wars anymore. I'm in the expanded universe. I'm right back to expanded universe stuff. I see this as just Disney Star Wars. It's what it is. It's something to meme on.
Yeah. And I guess this is what I was driving at, where it's like Star Wars as a continuous brand doesn't exist. There is very much the OT where you can always enjoy that for sure, and like you can have it as like your childhood memories. That's great. You got the prequels where this is a bit shit, but like okay, I get the good intentions that were there, and then you got the modern Disney era of Star Wars, and those three things are not connected in any reasonable way, and so. When it comes to thinking of it in modern terms, I just don't care. I don't feel anything for this. This isn't Star Wars. The Star Wars that I grew up with and that I once cared about is gone. And it's not going to come back in a modern form. It's not going to get remade. It's not going to get reinvigorated or redeemed. It's done. It's part of the past now. What we have now is just a facsimile of it. A shallow, shitty, retarded facsimile of it, and it's not going to get any better because they're not going to put anyone who knows what they're doing with this. They're not going to put talented filmmakers, talented creatives in charge of this anymore. It's going to be people like Leslie Headland who are going to produce more garbage like The Acolyte. And that's it now. That's what Star Wars is.
She's super talented. I'll have you know, she was the personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein for a very long time. Of course, that makes her qualified to direct an entire Star Wars series. Why wouldn't that be a career path?
For sure.
It actually feels more to me like a pyramid scheme now than an IP. Like it's just you watch Ahsoka and it's just I think we're like no matter what we say, we're still too easy on it. Like it's the storytelling is just insane. Like it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And the shows are depressing looking. They're ugly looking. Nothing exciting about them. And you just think, I know we say over and over, how did this happen? But they keep doing it. And they keep putting people in position like Dave Filoni, like Leslie Headland, that's I don't think been a fan of Star Wars ever. They keep putting him in these positions of giving him a whole series to make, like a whole show. It just... And the money they spend on them, there's something going on here that we just don't know. Someone's making a lot of money in the background to just produce this shit.
I don't know I hope someone is. Like I almost do. I hope that like there's some kind of weird corruption going on where someone's profiting from this, because the alternative is, oh my God, they're so incompetent, like that they are just losing money hand over fist. But either way, the result is the same, where, like I say, it just becomes a thing that it's not a creative endeavor anymore. It's not this special pop culture event that unifies people and that everyone gets bought into and excited for. It's just a corporate IP. It's no different from going to fucking McDonald's and getting a Big Mac meal. You know, it's that degree of impersonalization where it's just a generic product put out by a corporation.
What's the line Gary always says? You turn Star Wars into a TV show. Like,
yes,
but it's not even a TV show that, like, how could that new trailer bring in any new fans? Like, the only people excited are the people that are excited about anything with Star Wars written on it. Any toy, like you could do anything. You could do a Happy Meal at McDonald's with Star Wars on it. They'd be just as excited.
Yeah.
So it's like they're not growing at all. They're just shrinking. With every show, they just get smaller and smaller down to this nuts little group that will just love anything with Star Wars on it. There's nothing in that trailer that would bring anyone to it.
I think left too. Where's the Raylos at these days? Are they still watching?
Well, I
Even
think
they took off.
Yeah.
to try and be a Star Wars fan at this point, it would be like having a wank over Lizzo. Like it requires
Shout out Star Wars Theory.
it
We love
requires
you.
focus, determination, and sheer fucking will. And
Yes.
I just don't think there's many people that have that anymore.
You gotta
And
want
it used to be
It's a good point that with every show that comes out, they're losing fans, right? Like with every,
Yeah.
with the exception of potentially like something like Andor, I think every other show has probably been a net negative in terms of people giving up on Star Wars. You had The Last Jedi, and so many people left after that. Obi-Wan Kenobi was another massive one where people wanted to give it a chance. These characters they cared about, this era that hadn't been as sullied by Disney Star Wars, and it's just a total train wreck. And so many prequels fans kind of abandoned hope after that, and it's just down the slide we go.
It was
Rebels
Leia under
fans,
the trench
Rebels
coat
and
for me.
Clones, Rebels and Clone Wars fans that think Ahsoka's shit. Everybody else that thinks Ahsoka's shit too. It's just a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I tried to touch on as well with my review of this trailer was, I still remember that time when a new Star Wars release, a new Star Wars movie, whatever it might be, was a special thing. It was an event. People got excited for it because it was still relatively rare, and this was an IP that was valuable. It was something that people cared about. Now, when they announce a new thing, when we get a new trailer coming out, we all cringe inwardly, just thinking, how bad is it going to be? How insulting is it going to be to this brand? That's what it's become. It's become a thing that you mock.
Is Skeleton Crew coming out this year?
Yeah, probably in winter. Yeah.
See, that's probably Kathleen's biggest asset is she can just get these shows out. Like they're bringing out 2 shows a year. That's pretty full on, I suppose, for any studio. But you know, that's something else to look forward to.
I'm terrified they'll touch anything. Like every time they mention Knights of the Old Republic, and like, please don't touch Revan. And like, even though we've mentioned Kyle Katarn, please don't touch Kyle because he won't survive the transition into Disney Star Wars. They'll change them too much.
And I bet you weren't thinking that a decade ago.
No, for most things, a decade ago, if you said they're adapting your favorite thing, you would be so happy. And now you're go, no,
Now you're
please don't
scared.
touch them.
Please
Yeah,
don't touch us.
Yeah.
please don't touch them.
It must be like, if you're still a real fan of this, it's like you've put all of your favorite childhood toys and memorabilia in a room, and some drunk guy just walks through it with a baseball bat, and he can just destroy things as he sees fit.
And they love doing it. That's the thing we can all pick up on is on everyone when they say, oh yeah. They take a special pleasure in destroying what we love. And they just say it openly too. They're trying to switch out their main demographics, and you can't just see what happens when you try to replace us.
And the thing is, when the drunk guy's finally done beating up all your shit and passes out on the couch for the night, you're supposed to say, well, I guess I'm thankful he didn't destroy everything, and hope
Thanks for not breaking my
hope
leg.
that next
Just
night
like,
he
well,
doesn't
at
get
least
drunk
didn't
too.
rape me,
Well, Andy, promise
time.
you'll return
Give it
tomorrow
time.
night and you'll destroy less that time. So that's to be excited about.
There you go.
You should be
He
thankful
shoved
we're even
his-
destroying it at all.
You shoved your Luke Skywalker up his ass, and you can still see the legs hanging out, and you think there's still some Star Wars there that I can enjoy.
I can yank that out. Yeah. I can save it.
Don't pull on it, Ryan.
But that's all we can do is joke and meme on it. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't even see this as Star Wars anymore. I think it's a protection of myself. I've realized that their propaganda that I had to say that everything was Legends. No. Your stuff is Legends, and all the other history is still
Yeah.
there. Luke is there, and he's married, and he redid the Jedi, and all happy days are there. And yeah, let them do whatever they want. We'll meme on it and make period jokes about their posters.
It's an interesting about face as well, because I said this, I think, to MauLer before. Like, I grew up in that sort of unusual time in the early 90s where it was like that dry spell of Star Wars content.
Yep.
Where, the original trilogy was kind of a distant memory, but the prequels were still a long way off, and there wasn't TV shows and everything. So it was just like, Star Wars, it was a bit of it was a big event when you got anything Star Wars related.
Shadows of the Empire was the first big. Was like a book, a comic, an audio
Yeah,
book.
and as,
right?
as a
Video
kid,
game.
as like
Yeah.
and as like a 10-year-old kid, you were less inclined to pick up books to do with Star Wars. You wanted movies, you wanted like TV shows and things.
Yeah.
And I back then, little me would have been very excited at the prospect of getting new Star Wars TV shows every year. And now it's the exact opposite, where I'm like, oh God, please just don't make any more. Stop making stuff.
And they keep announcing the reboots. They keep doing it. I don't know. I mean, I know why, but it's just the reboots you think they would never reboot. Like, they're rebooting that? I don't want to name them all because that gets into a whole nother discussion. But you know the reboots they're all doing. Yeah, it's just they got to stop. They really have nothing else. It's depressing. But thankfully, that's why when you do get something good, like a Godzilla or a, it stands out highly, or a Shogun TV series or something.
Oh, yeah. That has been a bright spot in modern entertainment.
But that adds to just the bewilderment that they got to this place. Like, you're mentioning all these books, Nat, that I haven't read, but you're mentioning all these books that I know of, that they just had the script sitting there. They just had the story sitting there to create the scripts from, like it's hard to really fathom how they got to this place.
And that's the annoying part for me, because you get told, hey, Disney's buying this. You've got this fucking laundry list of plot lines and stories and things like that you can't adapt, and also things you could connect to stories that haven't been told yet but are set up to be told. And then a year and a half into the purchase, you get told, hey, by the way, all this shit, we're throwing it all out. It's going to be called Legends. It's not canon. Have your fun, but we're not doing anything else with it. Then we start see them going through and vulturing and cannibalizing pieces of it and bastardizing it. Hey, people like Thrawn, right? They love those Thrawn books. Let's put Thrawn in this animated children's show called Rebels, and let's make him a fucking retard, like a goddamn Scooby-Doo villain. And guess what? When we put him in live action, he's somehow going to get even dumber. Like, that's what they decided to do to the characters that were successful in the old expanded universe. And the Acolyte is admitted. Leslie Headland's like, well, I just, I thought I could just use some stuff from Legends and the old EU, and nobody said I can't. So I'm just gonna pull a bunch of stuff from it. Well, I can't wait to see how many people you've turned gay from that. Awesome.
I'll say it's Kathleen Kennedy when she said, it's not like we have a bit. Yes, you did.
That's what I was going to say.
Yes, you did. Well, because that's what we all, at the time Disney bought it, Marvel was popping. They were all good. And I thought, oh, good. Yes, they're going to rip everything off, but maybe they'll just badly rip it off. And they didn't even do that. And that is one of the worst parts, is that they didn't even do that. Now they're doing it horribly. But yeah, like Robot and I said, they could have at least used the books, and they said they don't exist.
They existed enough for them to just steal what they wanted and fuck it up.
And Dave acts like they're his ideas.
It was funny watching Thrawn on the live screen, hearing so much about him, people saying he's the greatest character, he's another Darth Vader, this, that. And he's like the stupidest villain we've ever had on screen.
Because I'm not even that familiar with him from the books or anything, but like, to see this live action version, I just came away from that thinking, this guy's a fucking moron.
It would basically just imagine Dave Filoni trying to write Sherlock Holmes, right? And what you end up with is this version of Thrawn.
Yeah.
I've seen Glass Onion.
Yeah. Like the current crop of writers and filmmakers and storytellers at Lucasfilm, you cannot hand them a character with a genius intellect and be like, hey, make him look like he's smart. They're not going to be able to fucking do it.
It's the perfect example of like a character can only ever be as smart as the person writing them. And as it turns out in this case, not very.
Well, isn't the main reason also, and I think both Ryan and Drinker would be able to test it, isn't the main reason they got rid of everything is so they don't have to pay the writers the royalties?
I don't believe that.
Because then why did Timothy Zahn, he just rewrote Zahn into it, Disney canon for, you know what I'm saying? Like, why not just adapt? I'm trying to understand why they would get rid of free material. What I'm saying is, like, if they really could just use all those books and comics and games for free, they didn't have to pay residuals to anyone. Why would they not?
They want to tell their own story, right?
Yeah. I think it was just like they wanted creative freedom to go a different direction.
I think so. The only thing I have aside from guessing is there was a couple of things I heard that J.J. Abrams was very instrumental in that, in not wanting like another storyline actively ongoing while he was doing one. But again, those are just like whispers and rumors I've heard, other than them just saying we want a fresh slate. But then again, they go and I just don't think they wanted to be bound by any of it. These guys can't keep their own canon straight. So I just really think they didn't want to have to be bound by anything. They could They didn't want Luke Skywalker to have been happily married and have a child. They didn't want Han and Leia to be happily married. You know, they didn't want that shit. They wanted
all I wanted.
They wanted to tell a completely different story where these characters are shells of themselves.
It was nice of JJ to say that he was only planning on doing one film. Like maybe if he was going to plan on doing the whole 3 or something, he might have, been pushing for that. But he was only planning on that one film and still says, no, fucking scrap all the books.
JJ, who admitted he likes 1.5 Star Wars movies. Literally, he likes Empire Strikes Back and half of Return of the Jedi, doesn't like the prequels. I was like, okay.
But he doesn't like A New Hope.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, sorry, and he doesn't like A New Hope. Yeah,
Jesus.
Oh, JJ.
Are you sure? He copied it pretty hard.
Don't know how.
It seems like he really liked it.
Painful.
Yeah, I love the cope from Lucasfilm to have the audacity to tweet out Lucasfilm's Acolyte trailer sets records.
Oh, it did.
And write a fucking article for the website as a big brag that, hey, we got 51.4 million views across all digital platforms, which is the highest Disney Plus Star Wars series has ever done for a trailer. It's like, okay, he also is the first trailer in history to get ratioed for Star Wars. That's the real record that got set.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's aware though that these shows, especially these particular kinds of ones, they're just talking pieces for everybody to talk about how Star Wars is either dead or alive, or how's it doing, all the different conversations. That like so many people are being like, oh, it's gonna be fucking great. Star Wars is doing it. Have you seen those weird tweets that are like, Star Wars actually made a shit ton of money? You guys are wrong. Like Disney.
Oh, that's
insane.
bots. That's fucking bots right there.
And I'm just starting to think like Star Wars has moved on, doesn't it? It's not a place to find stories. It's the story of the IP that we're all interested. We're just seeing where it goes next and how it dies. Like that's the entertainment.
Yeah, right. But it's not dead, because if they released something good, we would all love it. If right now there was a Sebastian Stan loot show where he was going around finding Jedi to rebuild the Order and it was unconnected to Rey or anything, it would be great. Of course, that's not happening. Which is
I think if you'd made that argument like 2 or 3 years ago, I probably would have agreed with you. At this point, I think it's a dead IP. I don't really think there's much that they could do that would bring it back. I mean, hypothetically, I mean, hypothetically, they could release a trilogy of a fucking amazing movies that would win us all over. Like, yeah, that could happen. It's realistically not going to, though.
Definitely not realistically going to happen.
It's going to be more of the crap. It's going to be more Disney fucking garbage.
I think
proof it's not going to change.
Death, like by I would imagine Drinker's own standards, would be that the same thing to bring it back is the same thing to launch a new franchise in general, meaning there's no power left, there's not even fumes, it's just dead. That's why, like, because we all agree if they had a trilogy that was amazing, it probably would restart it and get it in some level of power again. But it's like, well, so would it for any franchise, literally brand new.
100%.
That would be great.
Yeah. And a brand new franchise wouldn't have all the bad taste in the mouth.
Yeah, there's that too.
You know, like Rebel Moon, that was a great new franchise. I can't wait for the second part. The reason is already here.
Do you think what's especially funny about Rebel Moon is that if the second one comes out, it's terrible, and then it's like, don't worry, the extended versions of both terrible movies are on the way. It's like,
oh, bless you, MauLer, for saying if it's terrible. That's very charitable of you.
Hey, it's how I roll. Okay,
I appreciate it.
I imagine I'm the biggest Rebel Moon hater here, so don't worry.
I watched it in the Nerdrotic watch party, and it was rough getting through that one, even with the banter. So
I got 40 minutes to the first one. I never finished it. So
yeah, Az didn't fucking watch it at all. He stayed away from it.
It was a tough watch.
It's awful.
It is a tough watch. Like, it's not like I actually enjoyed watching Madam Web. I was laughing the whole way through. But like, that was a tough watch.
That's the good kind of bad. Yeah.
I had to the EVAP episode for Madam Web. I had to explain to people that I was like, this was fun, and they were like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "I don't. Let me just make the arguments." I swear to God, like there was scenes in that where I was just like having a good time. And I was like, "Oh, I remember." It's a particular kind of cringe. It's like 2000s cringe. I way prefer it.
It's like The Room cringe.
Yeah.
I went on my own to see it, and I regretted that because I was laughing on my own in there. There was like 6 other women in there who hated me, and I thought, I wish I'd come with someone to watch this, because it was just way more entertaining than I thought it was going to be.
It made me like Dakota Johnson for her response, for not blaming the fans and then like calling out the studios. She had like a little Brie Larson arc of like, oh no, I like Dakota Johnson now. Good.
I think her arc was condensed into like, a week, whereas Brie Larson's took like 5 years.
Yes. Well,
Brie Larson's been on the mend since I rehabilitated her. So I'm taking
it's all you,
credit.
Ryan.
I'm taking full credit for that.
Let's see if I get Dakota. Everyone's focused on Sydney Sweeney. Dakota might be feeling alone, and I could slide all in. Hey, I believed in you from the beginning.
I call dibs on Sydney Sweeney. Like,
The best Dakota clips
not
the
even in
ones
the
where she's
thumbnail,
saying she
Drinker,
hasn't seen the
failed.
film.
What's that,
those
man?
are the best.
She's not even in the thumbnail. You failed.
I know. Yeah. Well, I can't do it every time.
Yeah, that's the new clickbait right there. Sydney Sweeney's.
I don't do it every time. Jeremy would be like, "What? What do you mean?"
My open bar last week was about the Oscars, and I was like, well, she was probably at the Oscars, so I could probably work her in. That was about as close as I could get. This week, I'm running on empty. I don't have any Sydney Sweeney ammunition. Sorry.
I don't think it'll upset
you
anyone if
talk
you
about it
repeat
now,
some
so-
shots.
I might just put her in the thumbnail now, just to.
All you got to do is talk about her, and then, she should be in the thumbnail now. She's a topic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we talked about her, so
We mentioned
okay,
Madam
yeah.
Web, and
You'd be wrong not to.
I'm gonna clip this little segment of the conversation that went on for like literally 1 minute and 30 seconds, and just
discussing Sydney Sweeney.
yeah.
Do you feel bad that she actually read the Spider Girl or Woman comics or whatever, and she was actually talking about it? So, of course, the one time you get someone actually excited for their role, you abandon all the comics that they
And
were.
she gets to
reading.
be in costume for all of 10 seconds of screen time in the film.
Yeah, well, forever in my head.
None of it in real time too. All of it in flashback, flash forward.
And,
was my
when
guess.
she's actually in the movie, they fucking strap down her boobs to make her as like unappealing as possible.
Oh.
What is wrong with you people?
Yeah, that's a weird choice.
It was a big I think in retrospect, we can say that it was probably a big mistake to make a movie about 4 female superheroes with spider powers when none of them have those powers throughout the entirety of the movie. Yeah.
But the important thing, Ryan, is they might at some point in the future have those powers.
Yeah.
And so you have to guard against that.
They might have those powers in a Sony Spider-Man universe that doesn't actually have a Spider-Man.
I just saw an article saying that the Sony it's better without it's a Cope article saying that the universe is better without Spider. The Sony Spider-Man universe is better without Spider-Man, and this is of course because they want people to go see their Craven movie that no one's going to go watch.
Yeah.
Spider-Man
Just make
is-
it all about Madam Web, Venom, and Craven. Box office gold right there, boys.
And of course, Vulture and Morbius.
Who Keaton said he had no idea what they were talking about when he filmed that. Just give him a Batman Returns or a Batman Beyond movie already.
Keaton being in a room with Madam Web, being like, "What even are we?" Like,
paid.
Speaking of Michael Keaton, the Beetlejuice trailer dropped right when we started the stream.
Oh god, there's just trailers galore tonight.
Beetlejuice. Yes, indeed. It's it's kind of a teaser. It's like a minute. There's not much to it.
Well, there's a couple others I wanted to go through tonight. Just before I do, I was going to ask a super chat here that came through from A. Marcellus for $100. He says, a question for you guys. What if the current regime was fired and actual creative writers were hired to do a story 150 to 200 years after Rise of Skywalker? Do you think they could rework George's abandoned sequel treatments and apply it to new characters?
I don't know why we need to do that. Why do we need to use his stuff? Why don't we just...
To me, it's the same as like bastardize a bunch of other stuff. If you want to use a couple concepts from it in terms of like the wills and things like that, then maybe. But in terms of like the meat of it, and he's had a lot of different ideas as well for the sequels. I think it's best if they just literally go 200 years after whatever. Don't bring up any of these fucking characters. Just start a new thing in your universe.
I think, like to get to the premise of the argument there, yes, a team of talented writers that were given effectively creative free reign, like 200 years into the future, so they don't have to tie it into existing lore, existing characters, all that crap. They can just be free to tell the story they want to tell. Yes, they could tell a good Star Wars story. I'm sure they could. That is a thing that could be done. Would anyone care? Not sure. Because Star Wars has been devalued to the point where the only thing that would even draw people in is the Skywalker saga, would be like seeing Luke Skywalker again, even if it's in CGI form. That's all it is now. It's just a member berries factory.
Wouldn't it be cool if this person showed up?
Yeah, that's why you couldn't do it even after. You have to do it before, because even in the comics, when they jumped 130 or 200, it was still a Skywalker that showed up. And if there's a Skywalker in the galaxy, people are going to want to know about him.
Yeah, but they've destroyed that, right? They've destroyed that lineage. They destroyed those characters.
Right.
They could right now just move forward.
Right,
start
Rey
fresh.
Skywalker doesn't count. Right, any little Palpatine she pops out will not count as an actual Skywalker.
I was about to say, Ryan, didn't you see the end of Rise of Skywalker?
Disavow.
I did. I have a good feeling that bitch ain't ever getting laid. So
I just
Yeah.
love those
Something
viral
to worry about
clips
it.
of
Yeah,
people
Kylo
watching
Ren
the
did it through the
theaters.
Force at the very end. Yeah.
Well,
The audience is getting pissed off at that point in the theaters are always fucking funny. The viral clips feel like, boo, no.
don't do it. Don't do it. Don't say it.
How dare you?
I do think though, if they were, I still know they're in the midst of writing, making the final touches on the Rey script. I am giving them permission to use my idea that Rey was force impregnated by Kylo during that kiss, during that moment, and then because she was so sad that Kylo died, she immediately ran to the arms of Finn, who's always wanted to get that puss, and Finn slams her that night. And she actually has twins, but one of them is Kylo's and one of them is Finn's. So she's got one black kid, one white kid, and
they're
that's
both Palpatines.
they're both Palpatines, and that is the start of the new Jedi Order.
Why not?
I'm
Fuck it.
telling you right now, it is
do
going
it.
to have a lot of diversity, and it will be making all the men uncomfortable. Very good.
It's like Finn just like trying to deal with the fact that one of those kids is him and the other isn't, and like Daisy won't
So
give him the
Finn's
time
gonna
of
beat
day.
it. I thought Finn might just
could you
take off.
imagine getting John Boyega back to do this? It's like,
He'd do it.
don't worry, John. Like this time around, we've got some proper, meaty storylines for you. Like Finn's going to get to do something, and then it's just like he's this cut dad.
Don't worry, we won't shrink you for the China poster. You'll just be
Yeah.
small to begin with.
Yeah.
Could do that.
If only they had made him a Jedi, that would have been solved a lot of problems, but couldn't do that. Had to have him tease it for 3 episodes, only for him to now be eponymous and known for screaming Rey for 3 movies.
He doesn't. He
Oh,
doesn't.
but you-
He doesn't need to be a Jedi. He could have had a cool arc as a fucking stormtrooper who like broke free of whatever conditioning they like talked about,
Yeah.
and like him coming to terms with what he went through. Maybe becomes his mission to break through to a lot of other stormtroopers and make everybody understand that they're being forced to do this, that they're brought up like as children, they're trained like this. That they're really not bad.
Ryan. You don't understand, mate. Like they had to have a strong, diverse female character just free herself and just form her own stormtrooper legion of rebels. Because
Yeah,
that definitely made sense, JJ. Thank you.
In my cope brain, I thought that eventually Finn was doing the Kyle Katarn of like former stormtrooper who joins the rebels and ends up being a Jedi. I thought like Luke would train them, and boy, was I wrong about all of that.
Oh, yeah. Now, I was going to ask you guys, we've got a couple of trailers that have come out just over the past day or two. We've got House of the Dragon Season 2, and we've got Alien Romulus. I was kind of turning towards Romulus because mainly it's in the description for this open bar, so I feel like we ought to cover it first.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, I won't show the whole thing, or I'll stop it occasionally so I don't get copyright claimed. But I must admit, when I saw it, I didn't hate it, and that surprised me. But yeah, I'll put a little bit of it on here.
It looks OG, like the 80s for the Isolation game.
Well, I mean, the aesthetic definitely is, and I think it's set around the same time as Alien with like the Nostromo kind of ship design. I like how I'm definitely not just stopping it here to avoid copyright, but yeah. When they've got Ridley Scott here as producer, it's kind of like James Cameron being producer on like Terminator Dark Fate. Like, I'm not sure if I buy it that he was involved that much.
Well,
I think Ridley went to set and was setting up for them.
Yeah.
Really?
Like the thing is with James Cameron though, didn't he write Dark Fate? Like, wasn't it?
No,
his
well,
story?
he apparently had creative input on it. I don't think he wrote it.
Yeah, I don't know if he got like writing credits, but I think he did story, like in terms of like his
Who
fucking idea for
decided to
John
do that
Connor
to
and
John?
stuff.
Yeah, who decided to do
I think
that to
was
John?
Cameron. So who knows how involved he was?
The thing is, James Cameron is not the James Cameron that we remember from the 80s and 90s. He is.
None of them are.
He's a different man now.
He is.
Right.
He goes by Jim.
Well, he's tapped into his feminine energy as well when he did the Avatar movies. So that's definitely what I wanted to see from the guy who did Terminator 2 and Aliens. But yeah, sure.
No, what is it? Get it away from Run.
See, this looks pretty good so far.
Right.
Can
So
you-
obligatory, copious diversity, right? Black, synthetic.
I mean,
strong
well, it's hard
female.
to tell when it's so quick like this, but
It's it seems going back to the roots a little bit. You know what I mean?
That's to say, it's
what it feels
excusable though,
like.
because it's from the original, so it's sort of built in.
I feel like the husband's come home and he's like, I'm not going to beat you today. I've had a real good day at work. I've got you some flowers. And you're like, really? Oh,
yeah, I mean, I'm not holding out loads of hope that this is going to be a rejuvenation of the franchise or anything. I mean, I can only, I guess, analyze the trailer that I see.
why don't you put on the Prometheus trailer? Go ahead. Go
No.
fucking get that trailer.
Suicide Squad trailer was really good.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I can only go by the trailer, so fair
But
enough.
That's exactly what we're saying about the Acolyte trailer. They don't even know how to create a trailer.
Yeah.
Through the 90s, a lot of films I went to see were absolute crap, but their trailers were amazing. They'd get you into the cinema. That's again, I don't want to go back to the Acolyte, but they can't even make a bloody trailer get you interested. Like, I'll fall for this. I'm loving this trailer. And it could be crap for all I know. Like you said,
Oh, yeah. I'll fall
Prometheus.
for it probably too.
that Prometheus trailer was amazing. Fucking the film,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was so hyped for Prometheus that I was like, oh, never mind. But this, you know.
I get the impression that this isn't going to be some pretentious, like, what is the meaning of human existence kind of movie. This
But
is
that
going
could
to
have
be
been good, Trigger. They just execute it like balls.
This seems just like a scary movie in the Alien universe, like Return to the First One or the Alien Isolation game, where it's just sort of like here's a bunch of people trapped with an alien.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Wrong.
Like, yeah,
Well,
I mean, it looks
like-
like it's going to be a little bit smaller scope and just kind of get back to kind of the horror sci-fi.
Yeah.
route. Yeah.
I mean,
Unless they've gone up.
it is a simple premise, but that's kind of all you need for an alien movie. Like, I guess the question is going to be: is it original enough? Is it interesting enough to actually get anyone's attention, or is it just going to be rehashing stuff that we've seen a million times before?
Especially when it comes to the Alien franchise, I don't care how simple or complicated it is. I care about whether it's good or bad. We've had basically every possible fucking iteration of failure in this insane franchise. The idea that it's simple and pared down is like, well, Alien 3? Yeah, everyone loved that one. Like fucking Alien 4, I don't even know how to describe what the hell happened in that.
No, that defies logic.
AVP Requiem. If I sold you to it as some aliens are released into a town and the police have to stop them or whatever, he's like, oh, that could be interesting. Nope.
No, I wouldn't say that was good.
It
Like,
would.
I could tell you right from that premise that shit.
Bullshit. No way.
No,
Alien
I don't want to see. I don't want to see
work.
cops fucking fighting aliens. No,
What are you talking about?
stupid.
You can have all kinds of things work about just because it doesn't fit immediately with some kind of. We can put predators everywhere. We can put aliens in places and make it. If you're fucking great character writing and plenty of tense horror moments, you'd fucking forgive it.
I just want to say all they had to do was adapt the video game Aliens vs. Predator 2, where Weyland Yutani on another planet found a queen and was studying her, not knowing that that planet was used by the predators for their hunting rituals. And then the movie is about the three interactions. And my God, if you can't have someone write three interesting characters that overlap in that, I don't know what we're doing anymore.
Well, don't
they'll
we
never do
basically
that.
just
Didn't they
want
try that?
alien? Don't we just want Alien Isolation turned
They didn't
into
do it the
a
right way.
movie?
And it wasn't Space Marines. Sorry, it has to be Space Marines. That's the key.
At least they've
Yeah,
gone a horror director and not Leslie Headland to make this.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what else we got in the trailer.
Oh,
Stunning.
That is so brave and yeah, so stunning.
But it's Ripley, so we can't call it study because they're trying to echo Ripley, so it counts, but it doesn't count. I don't know.
This is one thing I've struggled with the prequel Alien movies that we've had. And I don't know if it comes down to the writing or whether it comes down to the actresses that they've got playing the character. But like when you had Elizabeth Shaw, where you had whatever that bint was from Alien Covenant, they just seemed like shallow facsimiles of Ripley. And I don't know if it was because Sigourney Weaver just played the role really
Why are you
well, or
talking
if she
about
was just better written.
What about the sequels? They had Ripley and it was horrible.
Well, Aliens was fine.
Am I the only one here saying fucking is aware of what happened in the Alien franchise? Hello? It's not just the prequel ones.
Listen,
I
I
know.
blocked that third one just
What
out
I'm
of my
saying is
head.
when we see a strong female here, we can't say, "Oh, look, woke." They're putting in a strong female. They've always put a strong female because they're trying to echo
Yeah, and
Ripley
that's
from
fine.
the first
It's
2
like-
movies. Basically, is what I'm talking about.
All they have to do is make her interesting, and they have to do is make her like a realistic human person who makes smart decisions.
But like this shot is echoing Ripley in the second, like in Aliens, holding the pulse rifle at the end. Like it's the same vibe. Of
Well,
it.
yeah,
Like
it's the same gun basically.
Yeah, and it's the same pulse. Well, more or less, I could see the barrel looks a little different than the pulse rifle. But yeah, it looks like they're echoing the same things.
I will just say as well, Romulus is a fucking retarded name for a
Why
movie.
call it that? I'm not getting the connection.
Romulus just makes me think of Star Trek.
It makes you think of Star
with
Trek.
the Romulans.
Yeah.
It makes me think of that too. Or it's like, yeah, I'm flew too close to the sun. I don't know.
What was wrong with
Icarus.
just numbering films? Just make it number 6.
Oh
I don't know
no,
which order they
that's
go
too
in.
easy. That's too logical, Robot Head. We have to, we have to get them random taglines now.
Mm.
I think the most egregious was Aliens versus Predator Requiem.
It's
Like,
so serious. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so pretentious and artsy. Like, get the fuck out of here! Like, you're a dumb action movie with aliens and predators in it.
You can make Romulus meaningful as a name. You could have done it with fucking Alien vs Predator Requiem. Honestly, it's seriously about what's going to be in this thing, and I'm so burned out. Like, I think I've told this story before, but Alien 3 was like the first time I properly understood. Like, wow, things I like can be destroyed. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like,
Michael Biehn hates
Good
that
point.
what they did to him. Obviously,
He
Well,
should.
you should, yeah.
he was on Inside. What was it? The Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, and he talked about it. How like, yeah, them telling him, "Oh yeah, you're killed off screen, not even in the movie." Cut
Well, I
out,
think
basically.
even David Fincher just fucking hated that movie and disowned it.
yeah.
It's rough. It's rough coming from Aliens to that.
I think it is one of those first films that opening and they're killed. You just like, it's the first time you're sitting there just going, oh, they've just fucked this up. Like straight off the bat, you know.
Hicks
Just
was my
10
favorite
minutes in.
character.
Well, I mean, Alien 3 has to earn back your trust sort of with a story it's not terrible. It's just that opening is really fucking rough for any Alien fan, especially Aliens, like, obviously. And yeah, just the whole journey throughout this insane franchise. This one being like, look, it's dark hallways, smoky, screams, blood, nice and, reserved in terms of what you're seeing. Oh, look at that, an army of facehuggers. That's a bit different. You haven't seen that yet. It seems to be handled relatively well atmosphere-wise. Like, give us another chance. And I'm like, fucking hell, yeah, I guess so.
It's like it's better than them like going for some grand sweeping thing with a bunch of like political conflicts. Or do you know what I mean? Like they could do this in a way.
Yeah, I agree. Where it's like
anywhere.
I don't need you to explore the nature of fucking reality and the secret of life, the universe, and everything. I don't need you to be that pretentious. Just give us a bunch of characters that I care about fighting an alien thing that's hunting them and killing them, and I'm invested on whether or not they survive.
Is Fassbender going to be in it as David? That's the question, because this is supposed to be a continuation, right? It did look like a pulse rifle, but it looked like a new generation, like a earlier generation pulse rifle, meaning between the first Aliens and the end of the last whatever Covenant.
I think if they had any sense, they would just distance themselves from those prequels. Like they're just a separate thing, I guess. I wouldn't want to get involved with them.
It's a bit like Star Wars. You never thought they would have fucked up the space jockey. You just thought this amazing creature, that they go and explore in the original Aliens. You wouldn't think going back to explore his story would really fuck it up.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a perfect example of less is more. Like the fact that you never knew where the space jockeys came from, you didn't know how they died, what they were doing there, whatever. It's great. It adds to the mystery. It's something for you to ponder. Great. And it's not that important to the great scheme of the story, but it's just like a little mystery at the beginning. To fill those blanks in, it's never going to be satisfying. It's a question that people don't want to have answered. And when you answer it in a retarded way as well, like, well, you've got a double whammy right there.
That's my big issue with it, is that it was retarded. It's
you didn't want to find out?
Prometheus was interesting somewhat, but they fucking waste all their time in that movie doing bullshit. And then Covenant was even worse.
Did you hear his full explanation? Did you hear why he said the engineers wanted to come and kill everyone on Earth because we killed Jesus, that they sent an engineer that was Jesus, and that is why they decided to wipe out the planet and send the alien ship with the black goo?
None of the events of that movie make any sense.
I was like,
whatsoever.
okay.
It's to watch it.
Yeah.
I think Red Letter Media summed it up perfectly. Like, they had like a 10-minute video where it was just like Mike just asking questions about the movie. Like, was David a secret asshole? Why did he not tell anyone what was going on? What was the black goo? You know, it's just like all this stuff that's never answered.
It's just some weird choices to make.
Yeah. Well, we had that. And we also had the House of the Dragon Season 2 trailer that came out. And again,
trailers.
Yeah, or teasers or whatever.
We fight for
Oh, yeah. I'll move forward a little bit.
This is the
My
black
father
trailer, yeah?
chose me,
Yes, it is.
his firstborn child, to succeed him. He held to his decision until death. And yet, Alicent's son sits my throne.
Look at him there, enjoying his golden throne.
I can't wait. I'm interested to see how Aegon plays, because obviously throughout season 1, he's depicted as just like this piece of shit, right? Doesn't even want to be king. They got to convince him to do it, force him to do it. And then by the end of that episode, was episode 9 or whatever, which had a horrible ending.
Yeah, he's kind of into it.
But oh yeah, as soon as he gets like, people are chanting his name and people are fucking loving him, he loves that power. So
Yeah.
it's going to be
I'm glad that they're like
his character.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they're doing more with him. He's not just going to be a temporary king or whatever. Like, they're actually going to let him grow into that role.
I guess we'll see.
I mean to fight this war and win it.
There's everyone's favorite
I would say
Handsome
that's my
Frankenstein
favorite.
right there.
Yeah, that's my favorite character. And she's actually far more likable as the queen than you would think is typically portrayed. Like, she's a really good... whatever, I know she's not minor. Really good actress. I really like what she does with the character. Team Black.
I think you can definitely see where she's coming from. As you get her built up over the course of season 1, you understand like what she's gone through, what she sacrifices personally to be in this role. And yeah, you kind of feel like she should be in that position. She should be queen.
Well, kind of, but one of the other things they've done is also establish all the mistakes she's made and how many, like the fact that she prioritized essentially her affair instead of like doing the right thing. And now she's got all these bastards that are threatening her place, that's threatening her father's power. And really, like, those decisions are what's led to this happening. In a big
and a
way.
race swap, which made it better, right? Because now it's super obvious. Like, we know those aren't the actual kids, or we know it's very obvious when you race swap the entire group, the Valerian, but it works.
I wouldn't say it's a race swap that made it better, but they were able to utilize a race swap and
not make it obvious.
capitalize and actually tell a compelling story with it. For people that don't understand from the books, it was not as apparent that Rhaenyra's kids were bastards as it is in this. This it's very straightforward that clearly those children were not from Laenor.
Did you think there was a suspicious number of black people in this one, Ryan?
Well, listen, not yet, but this is the Blacks trailer, and all of the black people are actually on the Blacks. So
fair enough.
I was wondering for a while if they were going to like stay away, because Greens versus Blacks is like a major thing in the book. And I thought it was ironic because all the Blacks are literally going to be on the Blacks. And I was wondering if they're going to shy away from it at all, but they're going with it.
The realm will soon tear itself apart. If men do not remember the oath sworn to King Viserys.
Going back to the wall.
Oh, yeah.
The High Tower.
Oh, I was going to see.
He's really good too.
Yeah, fucking love that actor. Like he's
Reese
just
fans,
perfect
right?
in them. Yeah,
Fucking yeah, he's amazing in everything, and it's really nice to have a role that is a bit more mainstream that people can talk about, because he's one of my favorites easily.
And you did see that glimpse that we got on the wall. That was Jacaerys, so Rhaenyra's firstborn, heir to Rhaenyra's throne, and Cregan Stark. That's
so is he taking the
wait,
black on this?
My bad. It's not Reese fans. Hang on, go ahead.
Viserys.
Yeah, these guys right here. Yeah,
Wait.
so it's Jacaerys. Jacaerys has got to be the one on the right, I think, and it's probably Cregan on the left.
And to his rightful heir. The Highhouse are marching.
No, it is. I guessed it myself. Don't worry about it. It is.
Are you okay, MauLer?
Well, the thing is, I was like, fuck, I should know this in fucking Welsh. Like, this would be embarrassing.
I thought you all knew each other down there.
Exactly, we do. He's going to kick my ass if he finds out I got it wrong. But no, it's right. It is. Yeah.
None of us knew.
Exactly.
Our terms are
My
very simple.
responsibility.
Renounce the false king and bend the knee to the king, or your house burns.
Oh, I love his character. Like, he so grew on me over the course of season 1.
The Rogue Prince.
He's the one that
Yes.
wrote me in because I was all off from season 7 and 8, and I was like, I didn't trust it, and I watched it, and Matt Smith specifically is the character that got me. I want to see what happens next time he comes into a scene, into a room, because every time he does, and then of course, yeah, just really not mad that I watched House of the Dragon.
I only watched it just recently, and when he first came on screen, I thought, I don't know if I can buy this. Just only knowing him really from Doctor Who, and then by the end, he was my favorite part of the show.
Yeah,
he's just such an odd-looking guy that he can just go into this. character.
And he sells the hair. That's a very I know Jeremy when he was watching it from Geeks Gamers, he said they all look like betas. It's like, hold on, I know some of them are thinner and some of them have long hair, but don't let that get it twisted. They're actually quite brutal. And
Jeremy's main takeaway from the trailers were a lot of these guys look soy. Well,
he has gravitas.
I don't think so, but
yeah, trust me, he makes it work.
Well, I think with his character as well, like the predictable character arc for him in season 1 would have been that he falls victim to his own hubris and he's undone and eventually he's destroyed because of it. But no, he becomes a much more interesting, nuanced character as a result of his, some of his shortcomings, some of his failures. Like, he learns from that and he grows and becomes like a stronger person as a result. So
yeah, he's a strange character because he's got that second son syndrome, right? He feels like he was overlooked and feels like he deserves more and like all these other things. But at the end of the day, the only person he really fucking cared about was his brother. You know what I mean? So, like, despite everything that happened, he was always loyal to his brother and really only wanted his brother's approval.
And that's what was interesting. I think I've watched so much crap lately that I kept waiting for him to just turn on his brother. And when it didn't happen, I was like, oh my God, they're actually writing a story here.
What's this, loyalty? Loyalty between two men? Oh my.
People acting like real human beings? What is this?
Shocking.
And I don't know if this is like makeup and stuff, but like they've made Matt Smith look considerably older here. Like,
they did a good time transition from him being much younger to the older, grizzled war, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I like this one as well. 8 out of 10. Too many white people.
He likes Batman.
That's a good score. A good score.
Yeah.
When the desire to kill and burn takes hold and reason is forgotten, you will not even remember what began the war in the first place.
Vagar.
Yeah,
big Mama Vagar coming through the fucking clouds right there.
It's going to annoy me to have her delivering any kind of advice relating to killing of innocent people or anything.
Oh, which goes through the floor and like accidentally,
Feel what I've begun.
Yay.
I wonder how this is going to do ratings-wise in June compared to the Acolyte in June.
Wow, that will be fascinating to see. I mean,
are they weekly releasing or all at once? Are they skating quickly over thin ice?
If they have any sense, they will shit all of that out at one time and get it out there.
I think it's going to be a 2-episode premiere and then weekly after that for Acolyte.
Yeah, see, I think they are happy with it. I think they're proud of it because they doubled down. They can't admit failure, and so they're going to be proud of this one, the Acolyte at least.
And then there is another
trailer that way though. I think it's just content for streaming. Like, I just think they're just corporation think, and then they don't even judge it that way. They just know the longer they spread it out, the dads are still paying the money for Disney Plus because they think their kid sits in front of these Star Wars shows. And
I'm using Echo as an example because they just put that out all at once when normally they do weekly. So is that
which one?
Echo?
Oh yeah.
So clearly they can, but
Yeah.
I don't think they will, though. I think, like you said, they'll be weekly.
Yeah, they're doing weekly release for that. And then, yeah, so they're very much for House of the Dragon. They're playing on the blacks versus greens. So they released that trailer, and that's supposed to be from the point of view of Rhaenyra and Rhaenyra's, the people who are, have aligned with her, the blacks. And they put out another trailer for the greens, which is Alicent and Aegon and Otto, the Hightowers, and kind of like from their perspective.
Very
And
good idea.
Otto is really good.
Pretty good.
Oh,
Ryan,
100%.
What's the guy
Ryan,
that plays Otto?
Ryan, the people that clip you are going to love how much you're saying blacks.
Listen, I can't shy away from it. The amount of time I've said Negro over the past couple of weeks talking about the American Society of Magical Negroes, there's enough. There's enough clips out there. So
Just don't
What
ask
is that
about
made
Maxine
now
Waters.
at the global box office? Like 3 million?
maybe that movie's going to have no appeal overseas. It's literally only meant for people who live in like a rich part of Los Angeles and are half black and think they're oppressed and they're super lefty. Like
It's not coming
nobody,
to Australia.
yeah, nobody else anywhere in the world is going to be able to like understand what they're trying to push with like the message for that movie.
Yeah, like no one in the UK. Yeah, like you say, we're going to look at that and say, I don't get what this is trying to do.
Oh, well, that's
I
a whole
don't-
nother unspoken is how black people from outside of America view them on the continued like, oh, so you're the only one with struggle, huh? And then movies like this don't help that reaction.
Yeah.
Well, they were trying to call John Boyega African American, weren't they? They couldn't quite understand that he's not African American.
Yeah,
It's like
He's
black people
British.
exist in other countries outside of America. It's
Whoa.
They
crazy.
give him a special title.
yeah. Walk through London at night, you'll find out.
Are they going to get him back for another Star Wars movie, or is he out? Is he?
I think
done?
he'd say yes.
Yeah, I
He
think
would
if
say
they,
yes.
I think if they find a way to work him into the Rey thing, I think he'll do it.
Don't do it, John. It's not worth it. It's not
If
worth your
Charmaine
dignity.
went to him and I'm not gonna do the thing, but if she said, "Yeah, we know you got messed up. We'll give you a full role as a Jedi in Rey's school or whatever, and then later it could be spin-off films," he would do it.
No, I don't get. I think if you tell this motherfucker he's going to come there and be a cuck again or whatever, and you're like, "We'll give you 10 million," he'd be like, "All right."
Yeah, he's not doing anything else.
Yeah, like where's his career going?
I don't
He's
know.
not doing
like,
Pacific
I-
Rim
I-
sequels anymore.
No. I kind of feel he's got more going on than Daisy Ridley. Like, I can understand why she's back for a Rey movie. Like, this is probably it for her. Do this film, get like 5 million, 10 million or whatever, retire. That's it. Job done. Because you're probably not going to do much more.
What has John Boyega done recently? Other than he was in that
In the
fucking
Woman King?
Woman King. Yes, he was in the Woman King movie.
That's not
was also
something I
in a
would brag
Netflix
about.
film.
Yeah, so it's not a brag.
He was in some Netflix film with, was it Jamie Foxx or?
Was he in
yeah,
that?
so last movie was 2023. They cloned Tyrone.
That's it.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound
Tyrone
like a
taking
winner.
care of your kids.
The trailer didn't look bad. I meant to watch it and I completely forgot about it. I think I saw the trailer twice.
I've heard it's a solid movie, but I've never saw
Yeah,
it.
it looks good.
Yeah, I guess the problem is like him, Daisy Ridley. Neither of them were established actors with like real careers in Hollywood before Star Wars. The only one was Oscar Isaac, and to some extent Adam Driver as well. They've both done fine. Like they're pretty successful now. But Boyega and Daisy Ridley, not so much, I guess.
Yeah, I
Star
put
Wars
them
is a
kind of in
bit
the
of a-
same category. Yeah.
Star Wars is a bit of a killer of careers.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
funny
Oscar
that,
Isaac weathered the storm. Adam Driver, sort of, although that 65 movie didn't really help him out.
Yeah,
Adam
that-
Driver is respected. Like Adam
He's
Driver is
respected, yeah.
respected as an actor. Oscar Isaac's very much respected as an actor. I don't
Yeah.
think Daisy Ridley and John Boyega have that.
Well, and Oscar
think-
Isaac has suffered Moon Knight and the Star Wars franchise. Like he keeps getting relegated.
He's been butt-fucked by 2 franchises.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least he got like
Damn.
Dune, and he's had, obviously his own.
He was able to get out of Dune before it took a bad turn or anything. It's like, just give me one movie, if I can kill me off in an awesome way. It's perfect.
Yeah, no, I think he was great in Dune. Like,
He was
can't fault him in
perfect.
that one.
He was perfect as Duke.
He actually provided a lot of humanity that film might have lacked otherwise. So
I found it far more digestible. I watched those for the first time, and then was able to go back and watch the Lynch version. But like, okay, I sort of understand what's going on because the Lynch version is just way too crazy.
The Lynch version is really wacky.
Like if you've
the
never
Lynch
watched
version
Dune at
came
all,
with a 4-page like fold-out instruction manual for the movie before you watched it. You had to read that.
I did not have that. Did not have that the first time.
I saw that as a kid because I think my sister liked Sting at the time or something, and it just freaked me out as a kid. I just couldn't understand what the hell was going on.
It is weird, and like one of the things they do in that, in a lot of ways, it's close to the books and stuff because they use so much internal dialogue in Dune 84, and there is obviously a ton of internal dialogue in Dune the book, which we don't get that kind of internal dialogue in Denis. He doesn't like dialogue, period. So why would he put internal dialogue?
Yeah,
but it's tough to show some of that shit for sure.
I'm gonna read the books. It's shockingly when you release a good product that's made with love and not a message. I have a bunch of McFarlane Dunes that I just bought. I want to buy the books. It turns out people spend money on their product and the ancillary products when it's decent and you're not preaching at people. So yeah, I got to read at least the first 3 because I know it gets crazy after Dune Messiah. Like, I've heard some of the things that happen. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go for that ride, but I do want to find out what happens next.
Yeah.
So once you have people transforming into sandworms and living for like 3,000 years.
Yeah, that's where it sounded a little kooky.
Yeah. That's when one of Paul's children goes on to become a sandworm human hybrid and have a tyrannical reign over the universe for 3,500 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Leto the Second.
Shout out.
Yay! Woo! They'll probably finish like Villeneuve is going to finish at Dune Messiah, isn't he? Like that's going to bring Paul's story to an end.
Yes,
which would make sense
if it gets made. And
Denis said he had 5 projects. He has to do one of them, and he said he was going to do it. He's down to do it, but he just has to do one of those projects first, and then we could get. I assume he's doing it in one movie, Messiah.
Yeah, that's a 1 movie thing. Yeah.
Cool.
Out of curiosity, because Ryan, you seem to know more about Dune than the average, or at least have an investment in it that I've seen. Have you seen Denis Villeneuve talking about Paul as a character, and then people responding to him saying he has no fucking clue what he's talking about?
Specifically regarding the turn or I saw people talking about
the nature of the point being made with him as a character from Frank Herbert, I guess.
Yeah, so I actually agree with I don't know about the statement about there being confusion when Frank Herbert originally wrote the books, but the point that I see Denis talking about a lot is there were some people who, when they read Dune or when they heard about the story, whatever, that didn't understand that what Paul's doing is kind of a bad fucking thing. They think that he's kind of in the right, when really the discussion is more about, even when you have all the right intentions, even when you're trying to do all the right things, when you're somebody that has that much power and that much sway over people, that's very dangerous to civilization, for people to just listen to you no matter what. These, whether it's religious or political figureheads. And
it's the danger of the cult of personality, isn't it?
Correct.
When a person's not like mentally and emotionally equipped to deal with that and like have the maturity to step back from it, what does it do to you and how do you manipulate it?
Yeah, and the point is, like, what Paul's doing is bad. It's going to lead to very bad things for the fucking galaxy, right? It's going to lead to billions and billions of people's lives being lost. And some people maybe take a little more surface level and they're like, wow, look, he avenged his father. This is such a fucking awesome thing. And I mean, we even had discussions on Stream MauLer where people didn't even understand that what Paul was doing was kind of bad. And that was one of the reasons that he specifically went out to change Chani a little bit and to make sure that the audience sees through her perspective that what's going on is bad, because that got lost in translation for people before who read the book. They didn't quite get it, that what you're supposed to view what Paul's doing is a bad thing.
Okay, I was definitely one of those people that like saw like, yeah, he's avenged his father, he's avenged his line. The reason I thought that is that I get that the greater point was supposed to be either like the white savior, the cult of personality, all those things. I thought it was more like he made it seem like, oh, bad things are going to happen no matter what. I can either have the bad things happen where I don't do anything, or I can have the bad things happen where I get revenge from my family. And he chose, while trying to negate it as much as possible, he chose the bad thing where he takes control, because either way it was going to go crazy.
Well, again, yeah, like, and that's a very human response to that, where it's like, I'm going to take the path of least resistance that also allows me to do some good from my perspective.
Right.
That's how he sees the world, but then it's not necessarily like the reality of what he's going to end up unleashing. But that's That's the problem where you give godlike powers to humans who are frail and make mistakes and are clouded by their own misconceptions and prejudices and stuff.
And I didn't have a problem with Chani not supporting him. I understood that she was like, no, she doesn't want anyone but the Fremen to save themselves.
In the book, she's 100% different. She is well on board with Paul and his crusade and everything that he represents. She's one of his biggest supporters, and she's fine with him taking the Emperor's daughter as a wife. That's not going to play.
Oh, she's like a concubine, and
she just accepts it. It's a necessary sacrifice to achieve the end goal.
She even at some point is like, hey, isn't it maybe time you had a kid with her at some point? Like, think about how she feels. Like that's how Chani approaches things later on.
I don't know if this and the revamped Chani that we get in the Villeneuve version, is that a concession to modern sensibilities where it's like, well, we can't have a woman get cucked essentially in modern storytelling, or is it just we wanted to give a different dimension to this character where she's a doubter for him? Not sure.
And that change, or the change in Chani I can handle in the movie. I don't mind it all throughout with her being skeptical and her being more standoffish. The only part where it goes too far for me is at the end where she doesn't stay with him. And it's not necessarily just because of this movie, it's because of what do you do going forward? Yes. Because what they did in Dune is they did a time compression. In the book, about 2 or 3 years pass between kind of when Dune Part 1 ends and then when it should have been coming to a conclusion. In that time, Jessica has had her baby. Like Aaliyah is born already. Paul has had a baby with Chani. So you skip out on a lot of that stuff. And obviously those children are going to be very important in what goes forward. So I think there is going to be some sort of resolution. I just don't know how it's going to happen because I don't know how you can do Messiah without the resolution between them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I brought this up.
Skip 12 years forward. Sorry, that's what Messiah is, right? 12 years in the future after the second book. So they have a time skip.
I brought this up to throw in some grenades here, even though I'm not invested at all in Dune, because that's how I roll sometimes. Dune seems cool to me, but I find the discussion on it and breakdowns from some people super interesting. Now, we start with Denis Villeneuve explaining in his, I think, Variety video, what he believes Dune is about and what he's trying to present. And then someone posted that and said, for anyone that still thinks Paul's rise to power in Dune is up for interpretation, here's Denis setting the record straight. He rewrote Chani to basically spoon-feed to the audience that Paul is bad, but it's quite clear a lot of Dune fans still think he's Luke Skywalker, which just reinforces the idea that the book and movies propose about messianic figures. Denis is still going to have to make Messiah to deal with the same issue Herbert had.
I thought him more Anakin Skywalker, personally. I understood it was ultimately going to be bad that happened of it, but
the problem is what you're showing the audience at this stage for people who haven't read the books is a man avenging the unjustified murder of his entire family and the destruction of his house. It's a guy taking back what is his and leading a band of underdogs, rebels against a galactic empire. So at that base level,
you want to root for
general audiences are going to empathize with.
I haven't gotten to my grenade yet.
Okay, throw it, MauLer.
It is funny how I have a whole set of sections and I'm like, nobody knows, so they just assume I'm done. But anyway, someone quote tweeted that who called Devin Erickson, who's apparently a Dune expert and has broken it down for a million years over all kinds of formats. They say, and I suppose you can stop me whenever you want, because this is relatively long. I just find it really interesting. And there's parts in this that relate to Lord of the Rings that I think are highly disagreeable. However, the Dune stuff I thought was really interesting. I wouldn't mind hearing what you guys have to say. So what I said previously, they quote tweeting that and they say, it's astonishing how few people understand Dune. It's as if they can't reconcile the concept of a good man and a bad outcome existing together. This is the whole point of Dune. It is a cautionary tale about the merging of church and state, about the dangers of cults of personality and idolatry.
Yeah.
If you think Paul is bad, you've missed the whole point of the story, which is that structures of power have a life of their own and they constrain those who wield that power. If Paul were bad, then the possibility would remain that placing a good man in his position would lead to a good outcome. But because Paul is not bad, we are able to see the implication that Paul's position, not Paul's character, is what leads to the numerous bad outcomes of the books. Being prescient, he sees this, and much of the story of him and his hair Leto II is devoted to his struggle, not against external enemies, but with the constraints of his power and position and legend. The golden path is dimly glimpsed thread of possibility whereby a good outcome for humanity can eventually be achieved, but it will come about as a result of a destruction of everything that Paul and Leto have built. The fact that they strive for that outcome is a testament to their moral character. Now here comes the grenade part. This is why Tolkien hated Dune. It was a direct contradiction of the basic authoritarian theme of Lord of the Rings. In Lord of the Rings, power is simple. It's wielded by a central authority and all must kneel. The only question is whether or not it's an evil authority or a good one, Sauron or the true king having returned. There's no notion of bureaucracy, which has its own influence and character, nor is there any notion of bad outcomes from good intent. No notion that the world is complex, that outcomes are hard to judge, that suffering might arise from mistakes as easily as from malice. Just find the noble king, put on the throne, done. In Dune, Paul is the noble king, and the evil of his rule arises not from Paul the man, but from the institution of kingship itself.
Wow.
So basically, Aragorn
I think that's an oversimplification of like the premise of Lord of the Rings. I guess Lord of the Rings is predicated on the idea that there's a sort of divine destiny for king, the true ruler, to come to power, because it's like not a prophecy, but it's almost like a preordained piece of fate that is meant to happen, and that this is ultimately for the betterment of humanity. It's a positive outlook on what power can be in the hands of a just ruler. Dune is a cautionary tale on the dangers of the cult of personality, and the idea that even a good person put into a position of such immense power and authority and expectation can ultimately be undone, partly by the weight of what other people have put on him, and also by the machinations of others, because it doesn't even take into account the Bene Gesserit and all of their shit that they pull behind the scenes, the other houses, the various factions that are at play in the universe. It's infinitely complex, and it's so the author of this has taken a really simplistic view of both stories.
I have heard for a while, I've heard it said that Tolkien didn't like Dune. I've never seen any like breakdowns on it. If that's true or not, I'm not sure. But it has been repeated
why he
a
didn't
bunch
like
of
it.
times. Go ahead.
Yeah, all I've ever seen is people assume the reason. I haven't seen any sources on why he didn't like it, assuming there are any.
Yeah, and I don't know. I would agree with I would agree in general with that statement from Fraulein Sausage Ball, that Lord of the Rings is optimistic concerning human nature, Dune is pessimistic. I would kind of agree. And it's true that like Paul is like a good person. He doesn't want these bad things to happen, but he also knows that a lot of things are going to happen and could happen and may happen if he doesn't take control. Even though that means things will still continue to happen. He's trying to walk that fine line. Go ahead.
Some people in chat, I know that he said he didn't like it, but what I'm talking about is the reason. Everyone assumes the reason, which I don't think we've got a source on the reason. I don't think he ever gave a reason.
Well, it's kind of like
stand.
I wonder if it's a generational thing. I wonder if people of Tolkien's generation had a desire to believe in the inherent goodness of people, and there is something good about a just ruler taking the throne and ruling wisely, not because they sought it out, but because circumstances
thrust upon them.
Exactly, yeah, because Tolkien was a guy who lived through the horrors of the First World War. And I know that after that war, there was a desire to get back to normality. There was a desire for comforting structures of good and evil, and understanding that the world is ordered as it should be. That's what you often get after a big conflict, a desire to get back to, I guess, a worldview where things make sense. Now, Frank Herbert, when he wrote Dune, perhaps was coming from a different perspective, where there was more complexity to the world and more nuance to human nature and what it means to be in a position of power. And I wonder if it's just like two authors, two thinkers from different generations sparking off each other.
Sure.
Yeah, you're coming out. You're coming out of like you're basically in the middle of the Cold War right now. The
exactly.
Yeah. World War II, in the Cold War, all these different people battling for power all across the world, and yeah, I can kind of see that. I don't know much about Frank Herbert in terms of him or his inspirations or anything like that. So it's tough to talk to about it. That's probably a pretty good guess. I like both the stories a lot.
Wow, loser. Pick
I
one.
know, right? Yeah. Well, I mean, if I had to pick one, it'd be Lord of the Rings. But
Oh, fuck
yeah,
it,
I would definitely. Yeah.
obviously. But yeah, I do agree a little bit with that first post though, in terms of it's ironic that so many people can't. They're only viewing it as like just a huge, really cool thing. Paul's so cool. What a hero. You know what I mean? Because it really is kind of one of the warnings.
I think
the
that's
movie.
pretty understandable though
As much.
from what the films give you if you haven't read the book. Like, yeah, I would see a big part of the population seeing it that way, watching the films.
I would be curious how many people would be making the point that people have missed the point when the books didn't exist and they've had decades to discuss it. I wonder how many people would be saying this, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They have
if
a
you
lot of
just
knowledge.
watch the movie on its own, they don't exactly. They could have done more to show just exactly how much Paul is seeing of the future and just exactly what his choices are. Because as he describes it, it sounds like he's just making the lesser of two evils, and that bad things were going to happen no matter what. So he might as well, like he says, sees a path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when she leaves, you feel that, it's shown more that it's because he's going to take this other woman as his wife.
Right.
And,
It's
and
very
the
easily played
general
that way,
public
yeah.
watching this and you're just like, she's
Yeah,
being a woman.
Yeah.
It has, and it has way more to do with where the Fremen are headed in this jihad that's going to rage across the galaxy, which I love Doom Part 2. I hate like the last 20 minutes and how fast everything happens and how quickly they're just like, hey,
Well,
tell him I'm the Emperor now. He's the Emperor now.
It's a weird.
You. Oh shit, they don't agree. I guess we're going to war. Like
Yeah.
it was so quick.
It's a weird thing, and I don't know if this is just mirroring the books, where Frank Herbert would often gloss over big battle scenes where you want to know what the flow of events is, and he'll just be like, "Oh, so they blew open the great shield wall around Arrakeen, and then the Fremen just like poured in and took over everything and won." Okay, great, but like it's not exactly thrilling to read. I want to know how this battle played out. And you kind of get that mirrored in the film where they just come in on the sandworms and then boom, suddenly you're in the palace and they've taken it and they've killed the Sardaukar and like their Paul just is there.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very quick and it's very like glossed over, but like that's exactly what you got in the books. It's less about the spectacle of the action and more about like the consequences of it.
It really is like Dune is about the power of the mind, right? Like in multiple facets that kind of comes around, and it's not about like all those big battles and that spectacle. We got a lot. I mean, we got some spectacle. We got the massive sandworms coming in, but yeah, you get more of that final battle in the movie than you get in the book. Yeah. But the way it ended, I feel like some people may not even have understood what's about to happen. I don't think some people that watch this movie understand that there's about to be a galactic level war that rages.
And is that how he does it? Because I was like, well, how the hell is he going to do this with a bunch of sand people, basically, with no ships? But the Emperor landed all his ships, and they're just right there, and so they just took it over.
I don't fully understand.
I don't know how the Fremen are going to do it.
How do they pilot like starships?
How do they know how to fly?
It's going to be hard to get those worms into the ship.
They've been practicing at night. They know how to fly. They've been practicing at night.
Well, the thing is, interstellar travel is impossible unless the Spacing Guild are able to facilitate it for you, and they're clearly not going to be bought into this because why would they want to help Paul? Well, so I don't know where it goes from here.
Because whoever controls Arrakis controls the spice.
So that's what I'm saying. They have to show at least the very beginning part of it. They can't just skip 12 years ahead if they do the next movie. They have to show at least a little bit of this conclusion, the houses accepting, because aren't those the dudes just in all blue liquid? That's them in spice, literally in spice, so they can see the space lanes or whatever with their prescience.
Well, they have to be saturated in spice in order to like see ways to navigate the ships through interstellar space.
I had to look up a YouTube lore video to find to understand like the little intricate things of this.
Well, this is the thing, and this is stuff that the movies don't always tell you. It's a fucking bonkers world where they don't have computers necessarily because
they had an AI war, right?
And again, you don't get that in the films. You have to know the books to know that, and it's like
Butlerian jihad or
yeah. That's why they have mentats, which are like human computers that can do a lot of the calculations for them. But again, it's a weird setup.
It sounds cool. It just sounds like it's a lot to get into.
And
It's
that's why
cool,
it's
but
really
weird.
hard to adapt it.
Yeah.
I was saying
Yeah.
a lot to take on. You got to respect anyone that even gives it a go.
Yeah.
And
There's
I
a lot
think,
of easier films to make.
for me, I think that Dune, between part 1 and part 2, it's certainly not a perfect adaptation. I think it does a lot right. I think it does some things wrong. But I think overall, in terms of like the tenets of the story that Frank Herbert was trying to tell from Dune, I thought it did it adequately. Some people maybe don't understand it or miss the mark, but I thought it was well done. So
Yeah.
and that's the biggest. Again, we know Peter Jackson changed some things for Lord of the Rings. Not as many things as we got changed in Dune, but we know some things were changed. But at the end of the day, the core message of Tolkien's story was very much felt in the movies, which is why they're so fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. And it's great that I've spent the past like 30 minutes trying to discuss the intricacies of the philosophical underpinnings of Dune after like a fucking half a bottle of this.
That's the best time to do it.
And an Acolyte trailer.
I've just been spouting shit for the past 20 minutes. It's great.
But at least Dune got us to talk about it and makes me want to read the books. And there's a greater discussion around it as opposed to, my God, that was horrible. Let's never talk about it again.
And I don't think we'll be having these kind of intellectual discussions about the Acolyte somehow. Call me crazy, I know.
Probably not.
I was going to say as well, Patrick Moran gave us $100 here. He said, sorry, this is a little, but me and my wife went and saw Dune 2. I'm a huge fan of the books and was able to fill in all the holes of the story and lore. She has never read them and was kind of lost, but still loved the movie. I feel like a lot of people are probably going to be in that position if they haven't read the books.
Yeah.
I saw it twice. I understood it far better the second time. Just like the broad scope of everything going on, all the little dynamics between people.
No, that makes sense.
And if you don't do like a refresh on the first one and you just walk into Dune Part 2, you're gonna be like, I really should have watched this before.
Well, I didn't understand that like all the little visions of him were because he was trapped in the tent with the spice, and because it's like it's affecting him more and more. And I didn't realize those were like he's tripping balls basically. So why does he keep showing that? But it's again much easier if you haven't read the books to.
Oh yeah. Let's do a few super chats before we finish up for the evening, shall we, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, let's endeavor to answer some questions here. So, Mr. Luca says, best character in A Song of Ice and Fire. A Song of Ice and Fire, sorry. I'm going to say Jorah Mormont.
I think you
I
want to
always
take
like-
Thrones, not A Song of Ice and Fire.
Well,
Either
really, isn't
trust me. Jorah, the book, is nowhere near as cool as he is in the show.
well, fuck it. I'm going by the show because I haven't read the books. Okay, MauLer.
It's okay.
The show's
And I
tough.
liked him in the show because I thought he was just the classic, like, wingman. You know, he's not always the center of
Kind of a
attention,
white knight,
whatever, but-
like a good white knight.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
like
in the books, he's like 50 years old, fat, bald, and hairy, and is trying to fuck a 14-year-old.
Yeah, he's weird in the book.
Yeah. But God, that is a tough fucking question. If you're going like Song of Ice and Fire in the books, it's hard to not say. We don't know how it ends, but I mean, I like Tyrion a lot. I like Tyrion a lot in the books. I also like Jaime a lot, to be honest, and the redemption arc that Jaime kind of begins that we don't know how to land, but
I like a lot of them, but it's been known for a while. My favorite, easily, Cleosum, is Tywin Lannister. That motherfucker is one of the best characters in fiction. I love him. Charles Dance did not disappoint.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't read the books, but I like Bronn.
Shame he died on the fucking toilet, though.
No, that's like great. It's part of
The
the
perfect
story.
way
It's
for
so
that
epic.
person to
Yeah.
die. Yeah.
Bronn and Podrick, because Podrick got actual character development. He actually became a pseudo knight at a sword. He wasn't made a butt of a jokes there towards the end. He was decent.
I did
It's
like
so
Bronn.
hard to talk
Bronn
about.
came from like the most fucking humble star, the most humble beginnings, and became this like pretty cool character.
And he does not have that big a role in the books, by the way.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, like that got because everybody liked it so much. Like it really got expanded for the show. But it's hard to talk if it's based on the show just because those last two seasons are such shit.
Mm-hmm. Tormund was quite good. Is the big woman here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
John's
yeah,
also
100%.
John's also different in the books than he is in the show too.
Are we getting a Jon Snow show? I thought that was greenlit.
No, it is, but I don't think we're getting that anytime soon. I think George will die before it happens.
100. Well, he's definitely not releasing that last book.
No, fuck no. If we even get Winds of Winter, I'll be impressed. Marky Mark says, "Hey, Drinker and Panel, what do you think is the better show, The Sopranos or Breaking Bad?" Well, having not seen The Sopranos, I'm going to go with Breaking Bad by default.
There you go.
Yeah.
I
Anyone
have to
else?
go back.
I
go Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Okay. I got the same problem as Drinker, so Breaking Bad.
Same problem. I haven't seen Sopranos, even though I know I should, because it was like the first. Didn't even have HBO at the time.
Like you summed it up perfectly. It's one of those shows where I'm like, I feel like I should watch it because it's so well regarded, and I'm sure it is amazing. I just can't be arsed watching it right now.
Yeah.
I just don't know when I'll get to that point where I've got the time.
It's such a commitment to go into something like that because I keep saying I must watch it too. I watched the first episode when it came out and then never got back to it. And every time someone talks about it, it's like, I gotta get back and watch that show.
It's like The Wire. Again, it's be really good. I just don't have like
trigger everyone.
3 years to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Next one is Jordan Pendragon says, "The Acolyte. I've got a bad feeling about this." You're not the only one, mate. Mikey Gusler, tickets for the Phantom Menace 25th anniversary release in theaters goes on sale tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific and 12 p.m. Eastern time. Apparently, after the credits, they'll show Acolyte footage, but I'm just seeing the film.
Yeah,
Make sure to leave early.
There's with every showing of the Phantom Menace, you're gonna see a promo for the Acolyte.
25 years.
Yeah.
Is it hypocritical to give them money to see it, or is it like voting with your money? Because I want to see it in the theater again, and I want them to see that, oh no, this is what we want, but then you're still giving money to a captured Disney.
I think that's for each and every person to like determine how you feel about it. I'm not going to call anybody like whatever for going to see a movie that they love in theaters. But I hate that they're attaching the Acolyte to it though, because they're very much selling it as a Phantom Menace prequel. So
yeah, well, it's just like a cancerous growth that's attached itself to it. Yeah, not something anyone wants. He also says, "I really hope Ryan Kinel's proposal comes true for AMC releasing a Jar Jar Binks popcorn bucket for the Phantom Menace re-release. How would you gents design the popcorn bucket?"
Just his mouth. Didn't they do
Yeah,
what? Didn't they do?
like
yeah,
Didn't they
very
do a
much like the
lollipop
Dune
thing?
popcorn bucket. Yeah.
Didn't they do like a lollipop thing back in the day that was his tongue coming out? You had to suck on his tongue.
I would have him as a street performer.
I think that's real.
Just like his actual canon. He would be a street performer on the outside of the bucket like this, doing Jar Jar, and then you would fill the Jar Jar bucket with popcorn.
God, I don't know.
Disgusting. He also says, "I'm a classic rock fan. I tune into Ultimate Classic Rock News, and they put out an article ranking the 4 Ghostbusters films. Their worst pick is Afterlife, then 2, and at second place is 2016. People are mad."
What do you mean 4 Ghostbusters films? There was only
2, yeah.
The video game is good because it actually has all the original cast doing their voices. And it was going to be a movie with Ben Stiller, but instead not Ben Stiller, and you just made you the main character.
Well, I guess the thing to take away from this is they ranked the 2016 movie as second.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Disavow.
Well, that's fine. Yeah. Well, that's fine. We've solved that problem. TGV Monster says, "Looking forward to the Rogue Elements, but Drinker, are you also looking forward to Residents of Evil Keeper's Diary film? A Resident Evil made by Resident Evil fans." I am looking forward to that, actually, because they've got the original actor who played Chris Redfield from the 1996 game.
Really?
That's just fundamentally fucking cool. He's going to be playing the Keeper now. I just love that they've managed to track down all these actors from the live action Resident Evil, intro back in the day. Yes, it's something Krasinski, I think his name is. Can't remember his first name, but
John.
No, that one.
He's a little busy.
Yeah, he's doing other stuff. But Michael Brocky says, "I broke down and saw Madam Web. It's very hard to make me laugh at you for 2 hours, but this movie did it. Christ, what a hilarious train wreck." Well, we did warn you. I don't know, man. If you paid for it, it's up to you.
Better to laugh than to cry.
True.
Sometimes it's both.
Yeah. With Madam Web, could be anything. Mikey Gusler says the milk brand True Moo is going to release blue milk from Star Wars on April 17th. For those wondering, it's vanilla flavored. Excellent. Thank you. Joshua says the gentleman.
So it's milk with food coloring.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to try blue milk. Blue milk is real. It's regular milk treated to be like shelf stable in the desert. So I don't know what they add to it, but like they really were drinking that in Africa, and then they used it for the filming. But it is a thing. I just don't know what they put in it.
Oh, is that weird UHT milk?
It's something that lets it be shelf stable and liquid still, and then they just used it and called it blue milk. Unless I'm completely misunderstanding the Star Wars lore history, and that's just I'm perpetuating a lie, and I'm sorry if that's true. But
They tell you that it's just camel semen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I always
that's
knew
fine.
that.
Nice
Yeah,
and nutritious.
Which is part of the fun, you know.
It coats the throat. You get parched out there.
Yeah.
Coats the throat.
Joshua says, The Gentleman, a good wild show. Can it get an EFAP?
I really want to watch that. It's on my list.
It's
Oh, you
good.
should. Everyone should. I don't know about an EFAP for it though. It'd be weird. Like if it were the format where we're reacting, we'd just be watching it and then laughing. Breakdown, maybe. I mean, I'm also just interested in recommending everyone go check it out. It's an easy recommendation. Like vast majority of people who check it out will like it.
Yeah, it's fun. Just good. Canada Plus says, Hail panel, anyone seen the travesty that is Star Wars Battlefront collection? If you could pitch one Star Wars project, what would you pitch?
I got a refund on the collection because it wasn't working. This was when it first started, and they announced they only had like 3 servers that were like 64 people, and I realized I'm not going to play this. I'm still playing Helldivers, and I should be fighting for democracy and freedom than a game that I played a decade ago, especially with no like cross play, which for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
If I could like pitch one thing in, I guess, this current iteration of whatever, I wouldn't want anybody to actually fucking touch it. It would just be like the idea in principle. Go back, do Old Republic before KOTOR, do Jedi Mandalorian Wars, like with Revan and shit like that. That's right for the pick. And they would ruin it, but in terms of something that you could do and fit within whatever they're doing now, that would be a fucking badass project. But I don't want them touching it.
Are the requirements just that it's going to be good and that they have to? It'll be made, or would just opportunity to pitch something?
I don't know. I just gave my best understanding.
Well, because I'm just saying it changes the answer a lot, right, based on that.
Yeah.
I would have a squad of stormtroopers versus a predator. That would be my Star Wars movie pitch right there.
That'd be great.
Sure. And they over the course of the movie, their own individual personalities gradually emerge, and they splinter into different groups, and they start to split up.
You literally could just make Predator, but make the Predator would be a Mandalorian hunting them for sport. I would. This sounds like a fan film, bro. We're gonna make Predator, but we're gonna put it in Star Wars, and the Mandalorian's gonna be hunting them, and it would work 100% if you did it the correct way and watch their squad break down.
MauLer's been watching a show about clone troopers with different personalities.
Why are you doing this?
Were they bad?
Then he quit, so he had to stop watching it. He didn't want to watch it anymore.
Just thought I'd bring it up.
It's just a nothing show. It's like a hollow fucking photocopy of a show. It's not real.
Fuck, dude, you're just describing Star Wars at this point.
It's
a
for
hollow
kids,
photocopy of
MauLer.
something that was
and it's
good.
probably the best thing fucking Disney have put out outside of Andor. But still, it's no recommendation there. I don't know, like, because for me with this sort of pitch, if it was guaranteed that they'd make it and it would be good, I'd just be like, fucking redo the sequel trilogy. Let's go.
I want the Omega game you guys were talking about. No, Badger. And you got like someone needs to animate that.
Michael Brocky says, my sister went fishing with 5 guys and all she got was a red snapper. Good morning and love from Australia.
Was that from Australia? Beautiful.
It is.
Proud.
Matthew Leach says, saw a comment highlighting this. Can you get Rakita, Sargon, Az, Rags, Friggy, and Metal on soon? They haven't been on in a while and they deserve to be regulars. Well, I mean, yeah, they do, but like they're not always available to just come on every time I demand that they be here.
Demand their presence.
Yeah. God damn it, Sargon, you will be here. I mean, they're always welcome to come back. So whenever we can fit them in, we will do it. Who have we not had for a while? We haven't had Friggy for quite a while.
Could probably rustle him up at some point. He's in the Australian outback somewhere.
I think we had Metal on fairly recently, but we haven't had Sarg on for quite a while. So
there you
yeah,
go. You talk to him about Helldivers.
Yeah. Oh God, he'll start going on about fucking the politics of Starship Troopers.
You know, Helldivers actually highlights several problems with our society. Shut up.
You know what? I just want to see humans blowing up bugs with big guns.
Just enjoy it.
So I can have a massive erection and just enjoy myself. What is so bad about that?
Not a goddamn thing.
And that's the thing players get. I jumped into a game one time and some guy was like, if you think I'm going to kill a bunch of bugs for their oil, you're damn right, because the bugs break down into oil. We're aware of the satire. It's fun. And that's the best marketing is the memeing and the clips, and it takes care of itself. And yeah, the Starship Troopers jokes.
It knows what it is, and
it knows what it is. And the devs thankfully know what it is, and they're not capitulating to anything to change it.
Yep. I saw this one as well. Jay Fraser 360 for £50 says leaks and spoilers for Alien Romulus, directed by Fede Alvarez. Is it Fede or Fed? I don't know. The film is set between the first two films. Corpse of the Nostromo alien discovered. Black Goo is back, and an android named Rock will have Ian Holmes' likeness and voice. Oh no,
that's Rook, but yeah, no. I don't even like the Black Goo.
What was the Black Goo?
Some base thing that they could manipulate that was just
made more I don't want any. Yeah, fuck off with your fucking references to Prometheus. Fuck that movie. It's bullshit. Every single aspect of it is retarded. Fuck off, Ridley Scott. You're an idiot.
The Black Goo was DNA in its purest form or something like that.
Who knows?
It's something like that. There was manipulatable no matter what you encountered. It was just an excuse for them to do whatever they wanted.
What was the big alien bodybuilder at the beginning who fucking like vaporized himself to like fall into a river? What was the giant space dildo
that gave it the DNA to Earth and it made all life?
The engineer.
But then, so they created Earth, but then they didn't want humans to find them, even though they gave them literally the map to find them.
That's
and
what
then they
Ridley
got
Scott
angry
was
about
saying.
it.
If we kill Jesus,
they sent an engineer and we killed him, and that was Jesus apparently. And so when they found out, they decided to wipe us all out. And then
I'm calling you out. You were like, oh, they spoil the mystery by explaining everything. You don't even know what happened in these movies.
It's so bad.
No one does. They make no fucking sense. They're idiotic films.
We just explained it perfectly, and it's a wonderful film, and you should check it out.
Chris Stockman gives it 10 out of 10.
We did, man.
Brave of him to review it.
Yeah. Davy Jones, right from his locker, says, hey, Mublishy, can we get an EFAP for the gentleman on KFP4?
KFP4?
Well, I don't know what that is.
KFP. Kingdom of the Fandom of the Planet of the Fourth?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, I love that movie. It's awesome. Probably not going to get a... I mean, Fringy and Rags haven't even seen The Gentleman yet. If I can get them to watch it. But yeah, probably not going to happen. But I can understand why you'd want it.
Cole Bruce says, question for the whole panel. What movie or TV show really disturbed you? For me, it was the beginning of Law Abiding Citizen, starring Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx. It made me lose hope for humanity for a week. Just a week.
Oh, we're all retarded. Kung Fu Panda 4.
Oh,
what disturbed you?
On what, sorry?
Well, any movie or TV show that just, I don't know, just
Return to Oz.
Got to you on an emotional level. Like, oh, God, that's really fucking freaky.
Like, for substantive reasons, I guess I would say something like The Thing or Soma. There's a couple of different IPs out there that address stuff that just makes me think while I'm trying to go to sleep, and then I go to sleep because I'm, that sort of stuff. But
are we talking about things that scare us?
Well, it could be scared, disturbed, made you sad, whatever.
When I watched The Ring in high school,
I've said that before.
I was fucking scared to death. I don't know why that movie affected me the way it did. I was scared shitless. I couldn't sleep with an arm hanging over the bed for a week. I'd be completely in my covers.
But that's normal because the cupboard monster will get you.
Yeah.
Misery when she hobbles him, that messed me up as a kid. Requiem for a Dream is just one of those you just don't feel like a good human after you've watched that movie. It's just very dark. Movies like that.
And
Alien
Chapman.
vs.
Can,
Predator Requiem for a Dream.
The Last Jedi.
so mentioned
For
the
me,
Fly
it
in
was-
that, and that's definitely what that doesn't get enough mentions. Cronenberg's Fly movie.
Well, I was actually going to say The Fly 2, where like the dog that gets mutated and then it's like kept alive as this fucking like horrible tormented creature for years, and then he has to euthanize it. I was like, that's just fucking mean, man. Like that's just, there's horror and then there's just like being fucking horrible. And that's what that movie felt like. That really fucking made me feel just disturbed and unhappy for quite a while after seeing it.
Someone in the
There was a
chat
second
just said
Fly
it.
movie.
I say I love this movie, and now I don't love this movie. The What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams. I really used to like that movie, and I do not like that movie anymore because of the subject matter. But if you've never seen it, it deals with ending yourself, and it's a rough movie to watch now, knowing he's no longer with us for said reason.
Yeah. Some people have mentioned Threads as well. That was quite Americans might not have heard of that, but that was quite an infamous like BBC. Maybe not BBC, but it was a British drama about nuclear holocaust back in the 80s. And that just like, it was a properly unflinching look at like, what would that actually do to society? Like, where would we end up like 10, 20 years down the line? And it was grim as fuck. Texas Sam says, best pubs in Edinburgh. We'll be there in late June for my 40th and want to make the best of it. Cheers. Oh, now you're asking. Well, if you're after whiskey, the Bow Bar is probably the best place to go. That's probably the biggest selection of whiskeys that I can think of in the city. They've got like 200 or whatever. Yeah, never managed to get through all of it in my lifetime. For just like general drinking, the Jolly Judge, which is just off the Royal Mile, that's a great little like classic old pub. You know, you don't get many of them now in the UK, but that's one of them. So that's probably a good one I would recommend as well. And then just if you wanted like a lively sort of beer hall type place, probably Bohemia, which is just near the train station down at Waverley. Those would be my recommendations. Mega Spidey-Man says, it's sad seeing Lucas let us down again. I wish he just hadn't said anything at all. I agree. Thoughts on what would happen if Clint Eastwood was directing Bond or Clive Owen was playing him? I feel like that's a conversation from like 15 years ago.
Yeah, Clint's pretty old.
So is Clive Owen now.
Yeah, Clive Owen's too old for Bond, I think. Yeah.
Way too old.
Best we
I
can
was
do
all
is
right with
Aaron
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, I say best we can do.
Well, it's not happening. It's not real. So
No,
like those reports are not true. Variety came out and kind of debunked it and said Aaron
So
Taylor
Craven
Johnson
only,
is not playing Bond.
darn.
So I don't know if he was actually offered it or not, or if he turned it down or what. But according to like the trades, they said no. It's
going to have to be Tessa Thompson, isn't it?
Oh God,
Playing Bond.
maybe Aaron Taylor Johnson's
It'll
like
happen.
we can't have another white guy. It can't be me.
He is a good choice though. That's the thing. Like
I think it'd be fun. Yeah.
you know, he's about the right age. He's got the swagger, like he's got the physique. He can, like, Bullet Train proved that he's got the confidence to play a character like Bond. I think he would have been okay in the role.
Like, the other thing that I think they need to get away from is planning like 5 movies with somebody, you know, to be like, hey, if you're going to be Bond, we got to have him young enough now so that he can do 5 fucking movies for the next 15 years.
No, I mean, I think there's a logic to it, but it's like, okay, you don't want to just have him in for 1 or 2 movies. You're going to want to have him for a 10-year. So like at least 4. So probably, a guy in his early to mid 30s who's in good shape. He can keep going till he's like maybe 45. That's a good time to move on from Bond.
If they do Bond again, they need to like reset and just go back to the 50s, because you can't have a Bond the way he should be in modern times. He needs to be taking advantage sexually of women and be a playboy and do all the things that Bond should do, and he can't do that in modern times.
Well, that's the problem. Like, even if you set it in the 60s, it's still going to be shown in modern times, and so they're never going to get away from that crap.
Yeah.
So like he can't be Bond realistically anymore, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate state of affairs, but yeah, it's like they're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole with this one.
Yeah, either leave him Bond or stop fucking making movies.
Just
you know
stop.
What I mean?
Yeah, leave him alone.
It's tough to say that when you got the rights to that massive IP, but yeah. If you're not going to do them right, don't do them at all.
How long before that goes into the public?
Bond.
That was written in like the 50s or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've got a long time.
With Hyper Time coming up, we'll be old enough just to see maybe a fan made.
I'll do a couple more and finish up. Normie says, I'm Become Death, the Destroyer of Worlds. Robert Oppenheimer, 1945. Hold my beer, Robert. Kathleen Kennedy, 2024.
Yeah.
She's the destroyer of franchises, not worlds.
I don't
hold my Pinot Grigio, Robert.
Yeah. Hold my Aperol Spritz. John Gates says, since I'm about to finish OG Final Fantasy VII for the first time tonight, and I think it's been amazing even for someone with no nostalgia for it, I ask you fellas, what's your history with that particular IP? For the Final Fantasy IP.
I have not played a ton of Final Fantasy games.
About it.
I probably played 3 or 4 of them. I'm not super dedicated to it.
So
I got shamed on Hypnotic's stream for on Saturday Night Hypnosis for not knowing or playing any of the Final Fantasy. I played 15 because it came. I was always been Xbox or PC, so I haven't really gotten a chance. But they're finally coming over, and I liked the game I played, and I was waiting for all the Rebirth, the Final Fantasy VII like remakes to come out to try to play that story. But trying to see if those can get adapted correctly, and if they all come out, then I will play. But tired of hearing good things about it.
Final Fantasy VII was, I guess, one of the biggest games that I played, like one of the most influential, I suppose, on me. Maybe it came along during my formative years, but
I hear Az forever talking about Tifa, so I'm like, I gotta experience this firsthand with the love.
Az is thirsty for Tifa, and I don't blame him because, like, with the remake, wow, they've done her justice. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's more than a couple pixels could do, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that's modern graphics for you, and that's where a remake can really, come into its own. But like in terms of story, man, yeah, Final Fantasy VII just taught me a lot about storytelling and characters, and yeah, it was a pretty big game for me, and I was very glad that I got to play it at the time.
Remember the movie that came out? Was it Advent, where they had like the first CGI female character? I know that's probably not well received, but I did watch that back in the day, not knowing what the hell Final Fantasy was.
Well, there was 2, because there was Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, which was like the first cinematic final
I saw
movie.
That one.
Yeah, and then they had Advent Children, which was like a sequel to Final Fantasy, which was weird and just felt like a crappy add-on. I don't really know what they were going for with that one. But they've done it justice with this remake, where they've taken all the key elements that made the original so interesting, but they've branched off now and told a completely different story, or at least as far as I can tell, it's starting to go in a different direction. So yeah, I appreciate what they've done. It's great to replay it. I think they've done a really good job with these characters, like bringing them into the modern age, but not actually infusing them with any of the modern crap that you deal with in the video game industry. So
right,
I'm fine with that.
Which is what I don't want to have happen with the Knights of the Old Republic game. If they ever do it, I want everyone that couldn't. I think it's one of the greatest Star Wars stories ever. But if they don't adapt that right, just like if you don't adapt Final Fantasy VII right, I won't get to experience what everyone experienced, or at least a shadow of it. Same thing with that. Just please just do it right.
Yeah,
on all the things.
That's all you hope for. Yeah,
yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like I'm at that age now where nostalgia is quite a powerful element for me in video games. So
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. I'm sentimental that way. But what I'll probably do is finish up there, because it's almost midnight here. So I think we've done pretty well this evening. But I want to say to you, gentlemen, to Ryan, to Robot Head, to Angry Badger, and to MauLer,
hello.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight. It's been awesome as always.
Thanks for the invite, man.
Do you guys have anything coming up you want to make us aware of? Anything you want to plug?
I just got normal videos coming out and stuff like that. However, I am getting rather close to 300,000 subscribers. I'm about
you're at 299. Come on.
Yeah. I think I'm about 300 away. So
right. So wait. Hold on. We've got 10,000 people watching.
We're doing it
right
live.
Now.
Right.
Okay. Surely we can get Ryan over the 300K right now.
Now's the time.
Power of the drinker.
All we need is 300 people to just subscribe to Ryan to get him over 300K.
To 300 people in the chat that have fucking sat through this shit and are like, you know what? I'm not going to subscribe to this fuck. Now is the time to change your mind.
I believe in the power of chat tonight. You guys have always been awesome, and I believe in your ability to overcome any obstacle. And this is one that's before you right now. 300 is all that stands between Ryan and glory. Can you get him there?
And
I believe you can.
I'll finally be. Well, we just jumped up about 75 right there. So now we're less than 200 away.
So we want 200 to go.
Yeah, unsubbing and subbing again doesn't count. They need to be new subs. I see you guys getting tricky in there.
That's true. I like
and
how
after you do that, come and visit the Robot Head channel because I need all the help I can get at the moment.
Just go around the horn, visit all of our channels. I'm the smallest one here, I swear. That sounded horrible. I'm not that small, I swear.
We're less than 100 away. Less than 100 away.
Oh, we're almost there.
I'm shocked. Look at all these people who had no interest in it before Drinker commanded them to do it.
They would have done it before.
I don't command. I'm not Paul Atreides.
Silence.
Yeah, that was one of the best scenes, by the way, is what he tells her to. Yes,
it was fucking amazing. Yeah. Let's see here. Now, oh man, we are 21 subs away.
21 heroes away. Spread freedom and democracy to Ryan so he can then go do Helldivers.
That's right. That's been all the things that's keeping me away from Helldivers. I had to get to 300K.
He said when he gets to 300K, he'll be doing it, and then he'll drop into
your patriotic duty.
Yes.
My patriotic duty. There we go. We are at 300,000. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that.
Very nice, right?
Yes. Cheers, buddy.
Thank you guys in the chat. Thank you guys for the push.
Yes, you absolute chads. Well done. I believed in you guys.
It's fucking nuts.
Geeks and Gamers will be at 400. Gary just got to 100. Critical will be at 2 million.
Yeah. And well, for you guys as well who are watching this, Angry Badger, he's a small channel at the moment. He's just starting out. If you were inclined to give him a little bit of help, maybe a little bit of a subscription, please consider it because he makes some really good content and he's worth your time. And it's always good to give smaller channels an opportunity.
I'm trying to not smile like Big Fig because when your heroes say things like that, Nerd Wars, who said, "Doe, be careful, don't meet your heroes." Well, I'm streaming with them, so take it. Thank you. No, this is great, guys. Thank you for everything you guys do. Seriously, because I did watch for years, and it's I know you get told this in meetups, but man, it is just a new kind of a culture. All of us, much like the Helldivers, when you jump in and instantly you just feel a kinship with someone. That's what all these communities are, the Fellowship, the 199, the Bigot Army, all these coming together because we're just tired of our stuff being ruined. We just want some good stuff, and we want to meme on the things, and there it is. So thank you, and
nice.
Oh yeah, man! Check out Angry Badger.
You've been doing it for years, Angry Badger. How long have you been going?
Well, like I said, I've been watching you guys for years. The channel, I started making videos to the end of 2023, then December.
Listen, I don't like people that professional that quickly. Could you just calm it down a bit?
I'll try.
Look like you've been doing it for years. You're making
and I every Saturday I stream with Nerd Wars, so that's helped. We do a little nerd raid show, and that's definitely helped. Yeah, but
try and win over the audience. What's your favorite movie?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, what's my favorite movie? Oh God, you can't do that. But yeah, it would be one of the ones it would be something simple like a Predator or a Tremors or one of those classics that I go back to and watch a billion times. God, Gladiator, they're all there. Yeah.
You gotta let them know you have reliable taste, all right? Otherwise they won't trust you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there are those classics that I always go back to, and like Demolition Man. I'd probably say Demolition Man, ironically, because it's just, I don't know, something that if it's on, I will always watch it. And very few reliable
that is a
things
fun
these
film,
days.
though.
Oh, yeah. And it's turned out remarkably true on at least part of it.
Nice one.
But yeah,
well,
no, thank you.
I think we'll finish it up there. But it's been awesome tonight. Thank you, guys. Well, I think we had about 15,000 people watching us at peak this evening, so it's been very good. But yeah, appreciate it. And the super chats that we have missed out on, we will always, as we always do, we will catch up with them on Sunday night. But for now, at least for me and for the rest of the panel, go away now.
Bye.